everyone for showing up for the adventure Trouble in Willowdale, session number 2, where last we let off. You guys had just met a farmer who had come from Willowdale by the name of Pern, and he apparently had a haul of tomatoes that were very ripe and delicious on his way to Warrington to make a sell, but also to get the heck out of Willowdale because everyone is spooked, as you guys found out, in Willowdale. So for safety reasons, he's wanting to protect his 2 boys that were with him and get them out. And through some dialogue, you guys found that out. Now, time went on, it came time to find a place to camp, and you guys found a cozy little advantageous spot to set up camp, which is what you see on your screen right now. Allannia did a ritual to cast the alarm spell, which will alert... Now, Allannia, are you wanting an audible alarm, like a handbell for 10 seconds with 60 feet, or do you want the mental alarm?
I would like a sound alarm.
Okay, so a sound alarm, because she's choosing the sound alarm, it'll sound like a handbell, and it'll go for 10 seconds, and anyone within 60 feet will be able to hear it. And it's any creature larger than like a mouse or something. A tiny or larger creature, so yeah. Now, where you guys see your characters on screen right now, is that where you want to be?
Yes.
Yes.
Can you place me, since I can't do it, can you place me more in the center? Like, right.
You can't do it?
You should be able to move your own
I
character.
only can go in the squares. I can't actually go in the center. You know what I mean?
Oh, well, if you want to do that, when you drag it, all you have to do is hold down Alt, which will give you more granular control, and then you let go of Alt. Yes, exactly.
Well,
there you go.
Look at that. Right on.
All right,
Cool.
but when combat starts, I'm probably going to have to make you pick a square, just for the sake of the convenience of the grid and stuff in combat. All right. Now, there is a fire that was lit. Allannia, just started a fire. We have a blazing fire. You guys have a ready supply of firewood to last throughout the night. It wasn't too hard to get together. And basically, we need to figure out watches. Who is going to be on watch? What's the order of the watches? What do you guys think?
I will be up first, Ronin. I will take first watch, unless anybody has any objection.
Yeah, I was thinking either Dalton or Ronin can have first watch.
Okay. So Ronin first watch.
Dalton will take second watch.
I'll go ahead and take third watch.
Sorry, who will take third watch?
Allannia.
Allannia.
Wait, can I ask a question? If Allannia is asleep for 2 watches, is the audible heard by all of us or only by her?
Everyone. She had selected the effect of the spell to be any creature that enters the blue line area that's tiny or large will sound an audible alarm like a handbell for up to 60 feet away. People can hear it.
Okay.
So yeah, all of you will definitely hear the cling, 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 cling if someone enters that space.
Okay.
So I got Ronin, then Dalton, then Allannia. And I guess Thinor and then Rellya last?
Yeah, Rellya wants to go last.
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's see what happens. Okay. You guys set up for camp, and Rellya, you find a cozy position kind of surrounding yourself by these stone rocks, but you are outside of the confines of the alarm spell. But you were just relaxing. Rellya, a question for you, because also you are...
Is this my watch?
No, but you were a high elf. And as a high elf, you have a special feature called trance.
Yeah.
So let me go ahead and click that. So, because you're an elf, you do not need sleep. Instead, you meditate deeply, remaining semi-conscious for 4 hours a day.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to ask you, when do you want to take your sleep? Do you want to go ahead and take your 4 hours of actual sleep at the start?
My trance would start. I would do it the first hour. I want to be semi-conscious just in case Ronin does anything funny. Oh hell yeah!
Yeah, you got to watch that guy.
Yeah, no shit. I'm after your ass. You better stand aside.
So basically, you're going to be basically asleep for 4 hours of the 8 hours that we're going to be camping. But for 4 hours, you're going to be semi-conscious. So
Yep.
My question for you is, at what point during the watches do you want to actually be in your deep sleep?
My deep sleep, I'll do the last 4 hours. Oh, wait.
Everybody went quiet.
So the first 4 hours that I rest, that we start this, I'll be semi-conscious. The last 4 hours of my rest will be when I'm actually asleep.
Okay. So you're okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not good.
Oh, but did I fuck up already? Ah, crap.
No.
The 5th hour is gonna hit, and we're gonna need you. You're gonna be on the.
No, I'm gonna be passed out.
Well, Ronin, you were standing there, or not standing there. Are you? How are you keeping watch? Are you just kind of sitting up and just trying to be alert,
I've got my arms crossed. I'm looking at the fire. I've got an ear out towards the wilderness, but enjoying the heat and the cold night air.
Okay. And yeah, you feel the warmth of the fire, keeping that chill mountainous air at bay. And you actually fail to see this, but I actually rolled super, super good here. And I am sorry, Rellya, but...
All right, guys. I lagged really hard there. Missed all of that.
There is a figure that comes in to being here, creeping ever so slightly up, and then lurches forward with a sudden attack, and no one saw it.
Roll fucking
And
roll an 80.
Very sorry. No, I didn't roll an 80, but way surpassed everybody's perception, especially, well, Ronin, you have a passive perception of 9, so you're not exactly perceptive, and definitely way past yours, Rellya. So, what happens is Rellya, you suddenly see a creature with these large pointed ears, and he has these big nostrils and these big pointed ears and fur completely covering his head. And there's this, what looks to be this black stripe of fur all the way up his head. But even more so, he has, what you notice is your eyes quickly shift down as he's swinging at you, this massive piece of wood that looked like it was taken from a tree. But on it is, you see a bunch of metal spikes sticking out from this wood.
Shit.
Yeah, and you see a shield on his other arm, and your eyes go wide, and you are surprised. And he lashes out at you. And I'm sorry, he's going to attack.
Is that what I think it is?
It's the white ogre from
I know. What do
Hobbit.
What do you think it is?
I don't want to say it.
It's a werewolf.
Yeah, you also know that he has some remnants of hide adorned about his body as well, like as if he tried to fashion himself some armor. But you also see on his shoulders, he also has some metal plates. So it seems like he's been scavenging various pieces of resources and material to compose his armor. So,
yeah. How much damage does he do to me?
Well, we'll see if he hits you.
Oh, okay.
Come on, high elf.
And you know what? I did not write down your guys' armor classes. That is my bad.
Oh, you did?
Real quick, Ronin, can you tell me your AC?
Yes, 17.
Allannia.
12.
Thinor.
She's worse off than me.
Hold on.
It's right above your hit points. Yep.
It's 15.
Very nice. Dalton
16.
and Rellya.
15.
Okay. Your eyes go wide a bit as you see the spiked club come right at you, right at your face. But you manage to duck back just in time as you feel the wind of this club these spiked metal spikes coming out of this club nearly took off your face. But you managed to lurch back just in time, but you definitely felt the wind off of it.
Oh my god.
Now,
Oh, you lucky guy.
you know, being a high elf, you definitely have met these. These creatures sometimes are a nuisance in Quinesti, which is where you're from. And you know this creature to be what people call a bugbear.
Oh!
Bugbear.
Nasty creatures.
Yes.
Now-
Birds.
Oh, and I just saw your message, CJ, so
Yeah.
you already know now.
Yep, now I already know.
Yeah. Okay, so the action of this creature essentially started combat. So now what we do here is I need to roll real quick a few checks here to see if they maintain their element of surprise, which they don't. Ronin,
Yes.
right after the moment that this creature struck, which you heard some sort of sound coming from Rellya's position. You're not too sure if it's really combat or anything. Keep note that you're actually. I know what I was going to do before we started the session. The light radius of the fire. That is important.
That's true. I see.
Yes. This is actually, you probably would have seen this then.
I believe I heard a sound coming up by Rellya's direction. But I'm the only one awake at the moment,
Wow, that's a pretty big.
right? Besides Rellya.
Yeah,
I'm
that
the only
is a
one awake.
pretty big.
That's
So-
a pretty
Holy
big.
shit! I'm like getting burnt by this fire right now.
Well, okay, no. I apologize for it being so bright. I could tone it down a bit, I guess.
No, this is fine.
No, it's not
Let's
that
look at
bright.
the
It's just the radius. So I'm guessing the
Yeah.
lighter shade is kind of like the hue of shadows that the fire gives off.
Yeah, so the inner
the
circle
outer
where it's
rim.
the brightest, that is called bright light. Any space within that brightest part there is, it's easily seen. Now, the next region is what's called dim light. And then outside of that, it's just completely way too dark out. With the cloud cover that are in the mountains here, with the weather, there are a lot of clouds. Even the previous day, there was a slight drizzle in the morning. There's storms that move in. It's just cloudy. It's blocking out a lot of the light from the moon and the stars. So for those who are human, which are 3 of you who do not have dark vision, basically you're essentially blind when you try to look out beyond this lit radius. Dim light, all that happens with dim light is you'll be able to see shadows and kind of make out shapes, but you can't discern too much detail, but you also have disadvantage on perception checks.
Okay.
Which means, Ronin, you actually have an effective 4 passive perception for seeing that bugbear. So you don't actually see the bugbear because, as you see, it's in the dim light area.
But I definitely
But
heard
I would
something.
say you definitely heard something, like kind of a little scuffle, which
Right,
was
okay.
Rellya lurching back to dodge the spiked club from nailing her in the face. But you did notice a sound, like a twig breaking from over in this direction. Do you see where I'm pinging?
Yes, right there.
Yes, from over in that direction, you heard a sound like a twig snapping.
We're about to get ambushed, fellas.
Yeah, so something's up, like right away. Now, what we're going to do now is, this is called the initiative deck. That's how I do initiative. Let me go ahead. Now, as you see here, there's a deck of cards that you guys should be able to see on your screen.
Right.
What is your formula?
Now, to start,
No,
See the-
cabinet.
I don't see the deck of cards. I'm sorry.
should be. I see it on.
It's right on the
This
four screen.
computer
It's
here.
right on the four screen, dude.
Should be off to the lower right-hand
my,
side of the screen.
yeah,
of
right
the-
My Ronin Blackmoor character sheet.
Okay. So each one of you has a card in this deck. So to play out the first round, what we have to do is who gets to go within the first round, and only those who actually have quick enough reflexes can actually go in the first round. Also, creatures who might have been organized to set up an ambush, they do get to go within the first round because they had an organized, concerted effort to ambush you guys and try to take you out. So they do get to go. But for you guys, we need to figure out who is alert enough that either wakes up, and that's weird. Who did that? I saw 2 decks all of a sudden show up.
I saw that too.
I see one only now.
Oh,
Yeah,
now
I
he's
see
not.
one.
That was weird. Okay, so how this works is on your character sheet, you will notice that there's an initiative modifier for everyone. It's at the top, and it is next to your armor class.
Yep. Oh, great. I've got 0.
I got 2.
So everyone needs to roll. Rellya, you were surprised actually, so you have to roll at disadvantage on your check.
Okay.
And everyone else, just roll a d20 and add your initiative modifier.
Is that a 4 or is that on a point? Is that a 4?
Yeah, sometimes Roll20 does that. But if you just look over at the side, that looks like an 11.
Okay.
And
11 for Ronin.
okay, so the number you guys want to hit is 15.
I got
Wow.
20.
Allannia, well done.
20.
Oh wait.
Nice.
I screwed that up.
Oh,
Oh
yes.
my god, everybody's in
Yes.
growing so high.
Yes.
Oh, I made it other way.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well done.
Except for Ronin.
Yep. So Ronin, what I'm going to do is, sorry, I have to remove you from the deck for this first round.
Sure.
But there are a number of these creatures who did not quite make it either. But there were some of these that were ready.
Initiative Jutsu.
Okay. All right, so now what we're going to do is, because you definitely noticed that snapping of a twig.
I heard a noise over here.
Well, yeah, so you speak out and alert the camp. Is that
Camp,
what you
there's
do?
a noise up to the northwest. I heard it.
Okay, yeah.
Twig
So
snapping.
you guys definitely must have been just really light sleeping, which this is the first watch. So you guys didn't really get into your REM sleep quite yet. So you were just still just trying to drift off. And then all of a sudden you hear Ronin call out, we're under attack, or however he put it. So now I'm going to shuffle the deck. If it will shuffle. This is really weird. Okay, there we go. Now it worked. All right, so, and what we do is we just turn over the cards and we just resolve them. And once we hit the end of this first round of the deck, all the remaining cards that you see, the 5 up above my portrait, there's 5 cards that I had taken out, and yours is one of them, Kyle. So all of the cards go into the deck, and we just keep on shuffling the deck and going through it to resolve combat.
Okay.
So here we go. Wow, Allannia, you were totally sleeping light, and everyone is prone, by the way, which means you guys were probably not just standing up. You were relaxing. To stand up from a prone position, it requires half of your speed.
Yes.
So let me go ahead and update everyone's token. They were prone.
So my speed's now at 15. Or wait.
Yeah, it's 30. So you have 15. After you stand up, you have 15 feet of speed left.
Okay.
All right, now Allannia, you wake up. So do you stand up?
I do stand up.
Okay, so you stand up.
Right.
So you are no longer prone. You have 15 feet of speed left. So you are looking around. In 5th edition, there's no facing rules here. They did away with that from previous editions. I actually like it a lot because it streamlines just a lot of problems from previous editions are just gone. We don't even have to deal with it. You were assumed to not just be a paper doll that's just standing there looking in one direction the whole time until it's your turn again where you can change your facing. You were assumed to always be trying to looking around 360 degrees around you. So if something comes into the light and is visible, you don't have to worry about them like getting you at the back and stuff like that. You automatically see. But when you look around, Allannia, you do not. Well, you do actually. You see some sort of a shadowy figure up on the rocks, right?
Toward Rellya? The rocks
Here towards Rellya, yes. Yep. You see a figure there up on the rocks, kind of brandishing some sort of weapon. You think you might see some spikes on the end of it, but it seems to be hoisting up for another strike, and you know that that's where Rellya is sleeping. Everywhere else, though, you also thought that you heard the noise coming from over there, but you don't see anything.
So I'm going to holler out at Rellya. Can she hear me from that distance?
Yep, absolutely.
Rellya, what's happening over there? Are you okay?
And she's right now, she's just a little too shocked that this is happening. She doesn't respond. She's like, help!
Nice.
Sister, you have an action. You must move.
So I'm going to go ahead, Allannia is going to go ahead and move 15 feet toward Rellya quickly.
Yep, just 15 feet. So you could get up to the base of those rocks.
Right here?
Sure. So you might even have like one leg up on a rock like you're about to try to step up on it.
Okay.
And you can definitely see a shadowy beast of a creature. It looks like it has a lot of fur. But yeah, it's brandishing a big, nasty, spiked-looking club.
When Rellya has dodged the weapon, is she in? Can I touch her?
She is just out of reach for you to touch.
Okay.
Unless Rellya, Rellya, you were surprised. So once it's your turn, then we will make you pick a square.
Okay.
So she's kind of down in this crevice of rocks. So she's a bit out of reach. You would probably have to step a few more feet over that rock that's in front of you to get to her.
Would I be able to do a cantrip right now?
Mm-hmm. Yep, you could do a ranged cantrip.
Sister, cast a spell.
Can
Damage that horrible
Can
beast.
Allannia cast Ray of Frost while also using, is it Evo? Wait. Sculpt spell?
So Ray of Frost, I believe, is just a ranged attack roll, right?
I believe so, yes.
So go ahead, link the spell, Ray of Frost. Yeah, so with ranged attack rolls, what happens there is because this creature is going to have some sort of cover. Well, actually, no, because Rellya is prone. So I would say, and this creature's up on the rocks. So actually, you have a pretty good view of this creature. As you look down enough, and you can see Rellya kind of down the crevice, like trying to get her bearings together, trying to stand up, and preparing herself to try to dodge the next blow that might be coming. And you see this beast just... And yeah, you can make a ranged attack roll and try to nail this guy. You don't need to worry about the sculpt spell feature.
By the way, that's got a 60-foot range. You could have stayed where.
I could have.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah.
You could have. So you have if you look at your spell attack bonus, if you want to do this, all you have to do is roll a d20 plus 5.
Yes, 22.
Very nice. And so, by the way, you could also enroll 24 and add the plus 5 onto it automatically. You could just do, when you do the /R 1d20, just put plus 5, and it'll automatically add the modifier.
Oh, I'm just using the little basic roll dice.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
We'll just do add afterward.
Yeah, that's fine. So yeah, you raise up your hands and you start to channel this energy using your...
Destruction power of the weave.
Oh, exactly. You harness it together and you focus it and it shoots out of your hands and you see this beam of blue-white light that just streaks out and nails this creature right into the chest. Now roll a d8, which will be cold damage. Okay, so you did 5 points of cold damage to it. Now, because he's hit by this, its speed is reduced by 10 feet until the start of your next turn.
Yes.
So to take note of this, I am going to... I need to mark it with some sort of symbol so that I remember that he's
Boots.
slowed. I think I will do... I did put boots on there. How come I'm not... Oh, it's putting the icons on the upper part of the token. I don't like that.
I have no ruby dust.
I don't think you need ruby
You don't
dust.
need
you
that.
Remember, you got your fucking
It's
amulet.
like grayish font instead of black font.
Yeah, so you blasted this beast. He just growls out and he looks at you menacingly, as if you might have caught his attention.
Oh, good.
5 damage, right?
Yep, 5 points of cold damage,
Okay.
and his
Cold
speed is
damage.
reduced by 10 feet until the start of Allannia's next turn.
Okay. Good job. Good job, sister. Froze the beast in its place.
All right, so are you done, Allannia?
I'm still
think-
not in touching distance of Rellya, right?
Right. So another rule that all you spellcasters should be aware of, because this comes up a lot, if you are capable of casting a spell as a bonus action, if you ever want to cast a spell as a bonus action, if you do that, that means for your main action, you can only cast a cantrip. The game does not allow you to cast like 2 spell-slotted spells in the same turn, unless there's some sort of special feature that allows you to do so to break that rule. But that's like a standard rule with the mechanics of spellcasting.
Wait,
So-
so
I've
she
already
couldn't
done that
use
spell.
she couldn't use teleport to come back towards the campfire? Before
Well,
ended
she
her
has
turn?
Misty Step. That is a bonus action, and she used a cantrip for her main action. So yes, she could actually do Misty Step right now to, I guess, teleport away. So yes,
That might be
is
a good idea,
I'm
babe.
gonna
option.
go ahead and do that. I'm gonna go ahead and Misty Step it on back.
Because you can literally hit this fucking guy, like anybody, with that goes way out. Well, as long as
Okay.
they're lit up.
My next turn, yeah.
So yeah, if you want to do that, go ahead and mark off the spell slot. So on your spell slot sheet, just mark down that you just used a first level slot. So where slots remaining says 4, just click it down to 3.
Oh, is that under the core?
On spells, if you click on
Spells.
spells. Yep,
Okay.
spells. Yep, there's a slots remaining for first level spells. You have 4, so just click it down to 3. And you use Misty Step, which I went ahead and linked it. So Allannia is briefly surrounded by a cloud of silvery mist. And Rellya, you saw Allannia come up and blast this bugbear in the chest with a beam of cold energy, and then whoosh, she's gone in a puff of mist. And Ronin, you notice that there's another burst of mist as Allannia appears right by your side. And she's
Hello,
just
sister.
glaring at this bugbear in the distance next to Rellya.
Tell me what that is. What creature is there up there? Up on the rocks that attacked Rellya. I heard it.
Yeah, and bugbears are pretty popular in mountainous regions and in forested areas, so I would say you definitely know that this is a bugbear.
Okay. It's a bugbear up there. We must kill it.
But
Yes,
yeah,
yes, brother. Be careful, but make haste.
See.
okay. Next card up, Rellya. You were also prone.
It's a shame. My cannon fodder left me. Went somewhere else. Alright, well, I'm going to stand up, and I think for the square, I will choose
Yep.
this one.
Okay, so you back away. You're still within reach, though, of
Yeah.
this creature, as he's about ready to let you have it.
Do you attack or flee?
Oh, that's what I'm trying to decide. I think I'm going to use the withdrawal action.
Need to lure him out of the mountains so I can fuck him up.
Okay, so this is another action that you guys can do during combat, which is what Rellya is doing right now. It's actually called disengage. Disengage is an action that you can take, which will allow you to take a movement without provoking an attack of opportunity, which happens when you leave a creature's reach, right? So he's basically given up his offensive ability to just say, hey, I just want to get the hell away from you. So he's taken a disengage action, and Rellya is going to back away.
Yeah. Let me just...
How far do you back away on disengage?
Up to your speed. So any
Okay.
movement you take, up
Okay.
to your speed.
Not prone. Okay. Get the hell over here. We're
Hold
gonna
on.
need your force.
You only have half of your speed left, though, Rellya.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm trying to figure where to go.
Okay.
Oh. Definitely want to get closer to someone. I think that's where I'll
Muscle
go.
to the camp. Prepare to fight.
And Rellya comes out, and she's trying to keep her eyes towards this thing while backing off a little bit. And she's like, prepare yourself. I think there's a group of bugbears heading our way. And she draws her bow, and she's getting ready to attack. And I think that's it.
Okay.
Okay. And you were done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. You take some relief that. Oh! How the deck plays. If that card would have come up before you went, that could have been pretty interesting. This creature lets out a growl as he seems to be frustrated, and you guys can see these two sharp. He's close enough to the border of the bright light. You guys can see these teeth just kind of glistening enough of a reflection off the firelight that you see these two big teeth sticking out, and he yells out. And you don't know what he's yelling out, but he's raising his arms out like this, and he's brandishing his club, and he's just yelling out. He repeats
everybody.
that again.
Okay. Not good. Not good, fellas. He's rallying the troops.
See. I want to see what languages. Does anyone know Goblin or Goblinoid?
Goblin.
I don't remember if any of these characters that you guys chose actually have that.
No. Common, Elvish, and Dwarvish. No.
No.
Okay, so you guys don't know what it said. But he is going to... Yep.
But wait, he is slowed.
He is slow, though.
Yep, he is slowed. And he manages to just climb up on top of this rock. And so he's up 10 feet on this big boulder, right? And he's up there. He seems to be trying to raise the morale or something of some other creatures that he's with. And he seems to go on the defensive all of a sudden, which I normally use the boot icon for this. So maybe I'm going to use a different one for the slow. Let's do the sleepy one. He's just moving a bit slower. He's kind of lethargic, maybe. So the boot means that I typically do this. He's taken the dodge action. So this just means you can visibly see that this creature is kind of on the defensive. He has a shield out, and he's like ready for anything that comes at him. He's just even maybe banging his weapon against his shield, like taunting you guys, like bring it. And he just stands his ground right there. He's definitely a bit chilled. He's not quite in the mood to try to run up there just yet. All right, Dalton. You get your wits about you.
Okay, as I arise from slumber, I don't stand up to fool, but I kind of stand on one knee with my mace kind of at my position like this and analyze the area.
Okay.
And what I want to do, I'd like to cast a cantrip if I can. If I read this correctly. I want to cast light.
Okay.
And cast it in Since we know an enemy is here at this one position, I'd like to cast light. And how do I ping again?
Okay. You want to cast light over
You hold your left.
somewhere over here.
mouse.
Now
Lighting up.
remember, because you were human, you were effectively blinded when you were trying to look out beyond the radius of this light. So you have to have your target in sight when spell casting. So you have to put your light at a specific point that you can see, which is going to be up to the edge of this, like circle, like maybe right there.
Okay, and light has a radius of 20 feet, so that would be 2 cubes.
So light has a radius of 20 feet. So let me go ahead. Is that where you want to center it?
Yes,
Right there?
yeah, I'll center it there.
Okay, let me... can you link it real quick? I thought it also provided an area of dim light as well. I could be wrong. Okay, yeah. So it's bright light in a 20-foot radius and another area of dim light farther out for an additional 20 feet. So it's actually just like the campfire.
Yeah.
Nice play, Jeremy. You're going to see this whole damn thing over.
Yeah, that whole... So that's where you want it. Maybe I'll just put another token down.
Quick question, I am a little confused though. It says range is touch. So does he have to go up there and touch it for it to light?
Holy crap. You're right.
Is it really?
Yeah.
No way.
Oh, no, that's right. No, we know that. Sorry. I was thinking of a different spell.
No,
yes.
I
So
forgot
with
about that.
light, you have to touch an object. Normally, people cast light on like one of their possessions or something, and then the light moves with them. That's normally what they do.
Like a lumos on a
So
wall.
you would have to move over here and do it like on your like talisman or something, and stand here like a fucking beacon of light.
Or maybe pick up a rock, cast it on a rock, and then try to throw the rock. That could be as well.
There you go.
Okay,
There's boulders
so
here. Pick up a rock right around here.
Nope, use your prized possession. That would
So there's plenty of little rocks around. You'd have no problem just picking up a rock, especially since you're nearby this cluster of boulders here. So you could use a free object interaction. There's something in the game, every time it's your turn, you could do a free object interaction.
Okay,
That
so
means you could pick up a knife off a table, you can open a door, you can close a door, you can sheath a weapon, you can draw a weapon. It also includes, according to me, as long as you're not being directly threatened by a creature right next to you, you can easily pick something up off the ground like a rock. So you can use free object interaction, pick up the rock, use your action to cast light on it, which touch just happens as you cast the spell. So now you would have a rock with this 20-foot radius of bright light surrounding you. And then if you wanted to for, I would let you just throw it. I would let you just toss it because it doesn't cost anything to just drop drop something that you're holding. You could do that anytime you want. So I would let you just kind of chuck it real quick. Since you don't care where it lands exactly, you just kind of want it out there. You're not trying to hit a particular target, so it's not like you're really aiming. Which is when I would say it probably requires an action to do that. But since you just want to toss it out there, I'd let you just do it.
Okay, I look down to my side and I see a rock on the ground. I pick up this rock and I cast light on this rock.
Mm-hmm.
With holy flame, go! Reveal the evil in the distance.
Okay, let me add a rock. Or actually, just a little point. Let's mark this.
Now,
So you toss it out. I'm going to randomly determine where it ends up. Since you're not trying to be too accurate. Wow, actually it ends up it rolls and skips and actually ends up right here.
Oh my goodness, that was a 45. You
That
got a
was-
fucking arm on you,
yeah.
Dalton.
That was actually quite a heck of a toss you did there, the mighty Dalton.
The
Good
power of God is on my side. Light up this area.
Now if this will just let me select it.
So I have a question, Barry.
Yep.
When you're casting a spell as a bonus action, like a spell slot level,
Mm-hmm.
like a first, second, third, fourth, does it
Yep.
have to have the bonus action property on it? Or
Yeah, it has to say one bonus action. Yeah.
Okay, it does have to have the bonus action property
Yep.
on it.
Yep. You can't use something that says one action and use that
Right.
for a bonus action.
Bonus action.
It's
Okay.
specifically bonus action.
Well, I was looking for the rock. Can everyone else see me? Because I can see nobody. For a
No,
while, I
you're-
could only see
I
Casey.
cannot see your portrait.
No.
I see you.
It's all
Everyone is
black.
visible except for you. You can reset your video or reset your thing, and maybe it'll reappear.
Yeah, if you go to the cog, if you go to reconnect to the chat, try that. Or just refresh your page.
Or for a brief second there.
At the very bottom, under game settings, click reconnect.
Oh, there's one also. on
There
the
we
right
go.
corner.
There we
There
go.
we go.
We can
There's
see
right
it.
corner.
Yeah,
Black.
yeah, I
There
can
we
see it.
go.
Yeah.
That's great. I miss Dalton's facial expressions.
That fucking mustaches. There we go. My
Wow.
goodness.
You guys,
It's like
yeah.
the sun up in here now.
Dalton, that was an amazing throw. Yeah, you throw it out there and just whoosh, this whole area is completely illuminated. Definitely,
Do I detect any enemies at bay?
yes, you all do, actually.
Yeah.
They thought,
Whoops.
this one thought he's going to have some cover of darkness, but you actually now see this creature appear. He seems to be hunched over a bit, like he's creeping ever closer, but he has a bow in his hands, and he has an arrow at the ready, and he's kind of pointing it out. And this creature is not like this bugbear. This creature has a low jutting forehead, has this hair pulled back in a ponytail, and he's pretty short, actually.
It's a goblin.
And he has kind of the same thing, like he just scavenged together some pieces to make some armor. But
No,
he
no,
has some type of weapon sheathed at his side, but right now he has a bow out and he's eyeing like this, and he has this tannish gray, kind of maybe even a greenish hued skin. Right away, you guys who can see this definitely know what this creature is, because they're also very common in mountainous and forested areas. You know this to be a goblin.
Kill that motherfucker.
And I will just warn you, goblins in 5th edition are
Yeah.
vicious, like
Yeah, they are.
pain in the ass creatures to fight.
Seriously.
Can I ask what
Kill
kind
that
of
dude.
range he has on the bow, or is that something
You
we'll
don't
have to
know. You don't exactly know. You're not sure maybe how his bow was constructed. You would have to maybe get up close, a lot closer to maybe look at his weapon. But
Fuck,
he
60
seems to be
feet
trying to
away.
find an opening. He's about ready to jack someone up. Another creature. Yeah, you guys would see this one too.
Oh,
So
So
there's at least 8? Oh my goodness.
yeah, and you guys don't know exactly where they're at on this map, but I assure you they are excited
around.
to try to make some kills here. So Dalton, yeah, I guess you're done.
Foul creatures, you cannot escape the power of the sun.
Now let me ask you: do you stay kind of crouched down, which is effectively like a prone position?
Kind of on one knee, and then as I gaze into the distance, I see these foul creatures. I assume a battle stance.
Okay.
Well, hold on. You would have to be standing to throw a fucking rock that far.
Maybe he just has a cannon.
That's true.
Maybe he sidearmed
I
it
agree.
and skipped it across the
Yeah.
room.
Yeah, you'd have to fucking. Your arm must be like 8 foot in diameter. That far on your knees.
Got
I
the
am
power
blessed
of
by
sun.
God. My arm goes where he chooses.
He does have
to
a
go.
15 strength, so
Oh, that's true.
yeah, he
So-
does.
Is he considered prone now or not?
He is not considered prone because he stands up in a defensive position. So
Okay, sweet.
you're going to hold your ground there, Dalton. Okay. So you're done?
I am done.
Okay.
Enemy 7. Present yourself, you foul creature.
Enemy 7. Yep, that's...
I'm glad that they're on your guys' side.
So clearly the dude on the mountain is the war leader.
Yeah. Definitely.
Your alarm spell is worthless, Allannia.
Listen, they haven't gotten up into my alarm spell.
We're all awake.
Okay. Rellya, you hear a voice
Oh,
come
Oh,
out from
shit.
the bushes. Suddenly, as this creature, this small-sized creature, has a short sword
Oh, what the
brandished out,
hell?
and he has it up like this, like he's wanting to stab something with it. But he just comes out, Dectado! And he is coming at you just full
Crazy little
bore.
bastard. Alright, bring it on.
And as you whirl around to meet him coming at you, you barely manage to thrust your abdomen back just as he stabs you. And you think you felt the very tip of that sword just slightly graze against your armor. And if it wasn't for you lurching your abdomen backwards like that, sucking it in, you definitely know he would have stabbed you pretty good. And he seems a bit disappointed as he pulls his hand back and he sees no blood on it as he looks at the blade momentarily and just says, and he's definitely frustrated.
It's fucking Loki. It's a Loki.
Loki.
Loki missed his ultimate.
Yes.
Okay, now, number one over here, recall that's one of the first ones that popped into view as Dalton threw the light stone out. And he sees this light all of a sudden appear. And he looks around. And he looks at you, Dalton. And he's a bit frustrated that you just blew away his cover. And he launches an arrow straight at you.
Oh no.
Which, because you did that and you blew his cover, he no longer has advantage on his shot because you took away his stealth. He was hidden from you guys. So that was a very good play with the light.
Nice.
So the number one green enemy is shooting.
However, you're
Holy
in your
fuck.
defensive position and you're busy trying to look all around you. You're concerned about the well-being of the rest of your party, and you were distracted momentarily by this goblin rushing out at Rellya. And you're looking at that goblin just enough time where you hear a twang sound. And as you turn around to where the sound came from, you feel a pain enter into your leg. As
No.
let's
At least
check
you
the
can heal.
damage here.
You can heal, bro. We're good.
Okay, it grazes your leg for
Great.
5 points.
Keep going, bro.
Shit.
That's a mean graze.
Yeah.
Yeah. That
Yeah,
got some tendons.
5 points of piercing damage, and you see this goblin lower his bow, and he has this big smile come across his face as he sees that he got you. And you see most of his grin is toothless. No doubt his teeth probably have rotted away mostly from not being kept up. Next, 3.
I'm in like the best position, I think.
I hope it one
Maybe
week
I
out
should
that
have been in a different direction. He's diving at
Yeah, where's our tank at?
Okay.
It's like hiding in the middle of us.
Surrounding
I
our
don't even
tent.
get an action this turn either. Otherwise, I'd do.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. This is pretty fun.
Come on.
So you guys see on the edge of the slight radius a creature. Let me explain what happens here. This creature looks to be trying to climb this rock over here. And as he climbs up, he's not quite up to the top. He's trying to get a handhold. But you see this creature as he has a bow kind of just slung onto his back, and he's trying to climb up to get a good advantage point here on top of this boulder, which any good archer would want to do. Except for this goblin clumsily slips, and you hear a scraping sound as his armor scrapes against the boulder, and he falls to the ground. Baka, baka! And he drops to the ground, and he is actually prone.
He rolled a 1. didn't
He rolled a 1 on his acrobatics to get up.
Really, I feel sympathy.
And that is, he actually exhausted most of his movement trying to scale that rock, so he actually doesn't have enough to stand back up.
All right.
But you guys know that he's there.
Okay.
Right on.
Thinor, you see all this action going on around you as you wipe a little bit of sleep from your eye, or Yeah, what do you do?
Stand prone and sing us a song.
Yeah, stand prone and stick it.
15. I think I would like to stand up first, then venture to the light about farther out into our light away from our camp about 15 feet. If I can find out where's the farthest I can go, or where do I want to go?
Okay, so yeah, you can move 15 feet
Right here, bro.
in
What's
any
it doing?
direction.
What? It's not. That's completely the opposite direction of where I'm trying to go.
You want to go this way?
No,
So
I
if you
wanna
have the
go
arrow
this way.
select mode on, you should be able to access your token and move it. There you go.
Oh no! Right, yeah.
Okay.
All right, and then
There you go.
with my basic trait of the half elf, the dark vision, I would like to shed light on the rest of the area we can't see.
Okay, so dark vision is a sense that only
Sense.
you can do. Like, it's the component of your own vision. It allows you to, kind of like a cat, right? It's a physical property. You can't bestow it upon other people.
Yeah,
Dark
that's why I
vi-
was stepping forward.
Right. So you can see with your dark vision. Oh, I see. You're wanting to look out here to see if there's
Other
more
enemies.
creatures?
Yes.
Okay.
Well,
I
I'm
see.
looking
I
for
see.
If he identifies them,
I'm scouting.
right?
I'm scouting.
All right. So you don't immediately see anyone else, but if you want to take a quick look to see if you notice anything, you can do a. It's an active perception roll.
Mm-hmm.
So you can go ahead and do that and see if you spot anything.
Is that a?
So, and this will take an action.
Is this a D20?
Yes. So if you look at your character sheet.
Oh yeah,
Gosh,
dude.
amazing.
Fucking hell, Andrew's
Oh.
fucking eagle.
So anything within 60 feet of you,
Holy
see it.
shit. That's
So-
way
Oh,
up
there's gonna be
there.
one right in front of me. I just know it.
He's gonna be like right. He's gonna be like right there.
Like,
He's gonna be-
He's gonna be like right here.
you look out, and now keep in mind, guys, even though like on this grid, because I'm having things being shown, Thinor is going to be able to see this creature, but keep in mind your characters actually are not going to be able to see this character, so they don't even know that this creature's here. Only Thinor is going to know the exact location.
Okay. Fair enough.
So
Oh,
you see this goblin kind of hiding behind a tree, and he keeps poking his head out, and he's looking, and he's actually looking right at you, and he licks his lips, and then he realizes that you're staring right at him, and his eyes go wide.
Oh shit. He's right here, man. You know he's hiding right in this motherfucking bush right here.
And that is the only one that you see.
all right. Now, if I can move your faces, I can see where he's at. Is that the number?
So number 4 down there, that's the only one that you see.
Okay, I see him.
Yep.
So I have no more action rules. I wave to my comrades, signaling them to come closer.
Okay.
All right,
So-
Thinor.
Thornor waves up a hand, kind of motioning everyone else to come towards your direction.
Yes.
Okay.
Next turn, brother. After 20 cards have been drawn, I'll have an action.
Yeah.
Enemy
Oh,
6.
God.
Okay.
There's enemies.
Guys, the map is running away from me.
Okay.
You get these piercing red eyes staring at this fuck behind this tree.
Okay.
Now this, there is some movement that comes from the bushes here next to the boulder. And Allannia,
Oh
you see
my
this little
goodness.
creature run out from around next to this boulder, and he seems all excited, and he has this big smile, these pointed ears, and like the other one, he has what looks to be a short sword brandished up, and he's just running right at you, and he's going to try to stab you.
Try being the opportunity.
Oh,
I can't do
goodness.
it now, right?
Well, you have a defensive. Well, you have to roll. We'll see what happens. He's rolling.
And this goblin, sorry, I forgot. He actually, unfortunately, has advantage on this. His stealth was so good that as he comes out in like a burst attack from the undergrowth around the boulder right there, he leaps out and jabs at you to try to stab you. So let's see if he gets you. And he does.
Oh goodness, Jeremy, we're gonna need your healing.
Leaps out. You try to avoid getting hit, but you take a total of 6 points. And I will mark that off.
It's like half your life.
So 6 points of piercing damage, and this goblin, as you look and you're in horror, you turn to the side, but he stabs you in the arm, and he pulls it away, and immediately you can feel blood just starting to rush like down your arm a bit. It could have been worse, but you definitely got a little cut on your arm from this blade. But there is also some blood on the tip of his blade, and he looks at it and then grins at you again, and he looks up at you and says, "Adactaron," whatever that means. But he seems pretty excited about his endeavor. All right, so that's the last card in the deck. So that was round number 1.
Oh my god! So you
So
can
now
have
round
this
number
card.
two.
I'm gonna
Round.
play this.
Now I recall all of the cards, and then I shuffle, and here we go. So this process just keeps repeating, which this is a lot more exciting than by the book where you roll initiative once and the order that comes up is the order for the entire fight, and it just keeps on
Right.
looping through, which sucks.
Seems
It's so
easier.
boring. This is more exciting.
Oh, good.
Oh, Rellya.
No,
that one out of the
my name's
way.
Allannia.
Yeah, get that bad roll out of the
Yeah.
way right now.
Okay, so this goblin reacts, though, Rellya. It comes in for a counterstrike. It comes up and it does an upward jab with its strike to try to catch you off guard.
Well, good thing I got my bow at the ready. I
Woo!
blocked it.
And you sidestep it. You
Or
see him
that.
coming up with the thrust attack with his sword, and you sidestep, and his blade just goes up and pokes the air.
Right
And he looks at you with an angry glare. I got puppet.
on. Oh, I know what this little bastard's gonna do next.
Yep.
Go back.
And yep. Now, goblins are so vicious for this reason. They have a special ability that lets them do this that normal players and creatures can't do. You notice that he quickly hops away, and so fast that Rellya does not actually get an attack of opportunity.
Oh, that's
There is a
shitty.
feat that you can take in the book that would allow you to get an attack of opportunity. It's called, I believe, the Sentinel feat. But
Yeah.
Sam's gonna take me.
Nox is gonna.
in
take
this
that
case,
one out,
you
yeah.
you see this goblin.
It was 5 to 9 anyways. I didn't realize it. I was just having to back up for backup.
Run off into the growth. You can still make him out a bit, but you're thinking, I might lose track of him soon because you know that he's going to try to hide in all the undergrowth and everything.
I thought you took yesterday off. Tomorrow off.
Oh, okay.
All right,
Okay.
Dalton, you go again.
Oh,
I didn't know that.
Dang, Ronin. I guess Ronin, you were just, you're
Yeah.
just kind of taking
I'm
everything
just-
in, like, hey,
fucking-
where?
Dude, Rowan is
I
like.
just got my dick in my hand, just watching everybody. on,
Dalton.
Hit
He
this
doesn't have his
number
cup of
6,
coffee.
dude. Slay this fucking goblin right here.
So remember, moving through
You're muted,
an
Jeremy.
ally square is considered difficult terrain, which means it costs double movement to move through an ally's square.
Yes, and sodomy is also.
I don't recommend walking through the fire either. So I would I would maybe just move through Ronin Square and then go diagonally there into that empty spot. That's what I would do to end up right there. And
Hey,
that
remember I
goblin
waved
will
at
be
you to
within
run
reach.
away.
Or you could even, maybe right there. So wherever you think, Dalton.
Jeremy, you're on mute.
Okay, so if I move, can I cast a spell after I get done with my movement?
Absolutely. You can
Okay.
stop at any point in your movement and then cast your spell.
But
Okay,
you can't
so
stop in an ally space. Just note that.
Right,
I
but you
wouldn't-
cannot stop in an ally square and cast a spell or do an
and
action.
I wouldn't cast when you're within 5 feet of that creature, else it gets.
Yeah,
gets-
unless
No.
Yeah,
That's not true.
exactly.
That's
Oh,
not
it's
true.
not.
No, that's second edition rules that you're thinking of. In fifth edition, casting a spell in front. Now, if it's a ranged attack, if they're within 5 feet of you, that attack is made with disadvantage.
What about ranged spell attack?
No, any ranged attack is disadvantage if they're within 5 feet of
If he
you.
wants to do a ranged spell attack, it would be
Okay.
disadvantage,
It would be
right?
more beneficial for him to get closer then, if that's the case.
Okay, I thought you were saying that there would be an attack of opportunity on him if he casted within.
No.
No!
Move
Oh,
there,
okay.
sir.
I misheard you then. So yeah, wherever you want to move, Dalton.
Okay,
Definitely within range.
unfortunately, I don't have any abilities that I can use to heal. Can
Yeah.
Well, you have
at least
spells,
you have
but
spells to heal, but that takes up
Yeah,
an action. We want to kill 6, man. Do what you got to do.
I? Okay, so what I'll do is I will move to this location here,
Okay.
and it should be in range of Burning Hands, which it is. So I will move to this spot here. I will
Okay.
not go through the fire because that's bad. And I look upon this creature that has stabbed Allannia, and I say, "Gone to you, creature!" And I cast Burning Hands upon it.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
There's this. Yeah. And there's this fan of flames that just jets out from your hands, just in this wide arc. How far deep is it? 15 feet.
It's
I'm trying to remember.
15 foot radius in a cone.
In a cone. Okay, so that means 15 by 15 at the end. So just like that. Any creature in this space would have gotten blasted. But there's only this one creature that you are blasting with your burning hands. So I believe he gets a Dex saving throw to take half. So why don't you go ahead and roll damage, and I will roll his dexterity saving throw.
Okay, so I'll roll a 20 real quick.
Yeah.
Is it a D20 for damage?
No, it's
He fails.
a D6.
that
So
a one?
whatever you roll, he's taking full damage.
Okay, so hold on. How do I roll?
It's 3d6s, right?
3d6.
3d6.
Oh, God, he's taking so much
So you
damage.
can type in /r space, and then
There's
you could do
4.
3d6, and it would roll, or you could roll it separately.
There's 8.
Hey, that's not bad.
Hey.
Hey, that's a
Yeah,
good roll.
dude,
13
13
damage.
Good God. Hopefully that killed that little...
Wow. Allannia, you kind of take a step back as you realize, because you know this spell, right? So, and Dalton, you know, you come up and you cast and you put your hands together, and these jets of flame just spread out from your hands in an amazing force and an amazing intensity of heat. And this goblin looks at you as he sees these flames coming, and you lose sight of this goblin as the fire just envelops this creature. And you hear a scream from within the flames. And then suddenly you hear the screams just completely die out as the flames subside.
You killed
You
him,
then
dude.
notice that the goblin is laying prone, and he is completely blistered and burned down on the ground. Bam.
Oh yeah.
Wait,
You
don't
did
just
this with Dalton, man.
Many
give
things
us
Dalton.
the God statement as you kill this creature.
Be purged from this land, O foul creature. You cannot understand the power of God.
Well done. Well done.
Oh,
You
yeah.
definitely had Allannia's back there. So,
Many thanks, Dalton.
all right. So, I
Anytime,
believe you
man.
have some movement left. If you wanted to move some more, you could. I think you have 15 movement left.
I think I have 30 movement total.
Yep, you have 15 left because it took you 15 to move there.
Okay, then I will move here, and then I will end my turn.
Okay. Excellent.
Come on, Ronin.
Ooh.
Oh, what's he gonna do?
Now, this guy, notice because of how the cards came up, he came up again before Allannia actually had her turn, which means he still has -10 speed, which
Right.
is in your favor.
Do we know how much
Um,
speed he has total?
Nope.
No.
Okay.
Nope.
Damn.
So stats and stuff like that on creatures, you guys generally don't know unless the situation kind of makes sense that you would try to figure it out or analyze it, or your character spends some time to maybe try to figure out a weakness or something.
Okay, so if they moved like their maximum movement and they were slowed, we'd be able to deduct from there. Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay, so he comes at you, Thinor.
Oh shit.
Yep, which he can do. And as he comes down, just stepping across these boulders, and he has his club up, and he looks right at you, and says, Talon, Tekken. And whatever he's saying, but he seems intent that whatever he said is going to come to pass, and he strikes at you. Oh, crap.
Can I do a dexterity saving roll?
No. Those come in, so saving throws come into play when your character is afflicted by some sort of damage or effect, like a spell or something, where your character has a momentary chance to reflectively, by reflex, to avoid the damage in some way. Like the burning hands, for example. The goblin got a dex saving throw to try to avoid most of the blast.
Usually.
But he failed terribly, so now he's dead. But when it comes to physical attacks like this, it's more of a matter, can they hit your armor class? So that's where the armor class is pretty important, which yours is 15.
It's pretty high.
Yep. He comes in, and this spiked club gets you. It's actually called a Morning Star. Oh my gosh. I am very sorry for this, but he catches you right across the chest, and you feel the air just get slammed from your lungs. As you take 14 points of freaking damage.
Oh, Jesus.
He knocks you hard, and he just growls, and he smiles. And then he says, "Surrender now. Maybe I eat you last."
Oh, shit.
And he says it in a strange dialect of common, but you surprisingly actually understood what he just said.
Well, you should after taking 14 points of fucking damage.
Very persuasive. Yes.
Yeah.
So,
So,
Allannia, you need to blast that motherfucker.
so Allannia. Yeah, you see that bugbear that just charged down those rocks and just blasted Thinor in the chest with his Morning Star. But you also know that there's that goblin that attacked Rellya that took off towards behind. You think you see somewhat of a shape of the goblin back behind there. Like, looks like he's going to try to find a place to hide.
Attack the leader.
Yes.
Yeah. But I can't walk over fire, right? So
You don't have to. Your spells have
No,
range.
you can go around it. But you also notice that, remember, number 1 and 8 over there to the northwest section of the map.
I just want to get close enough to Thinor to.
I would go through the person next to you and go around.
Maybe like here?
Right here.
No, that's bad because it goes through the fire.
Yeah, that's good. Well, damn it. I was going to... Okay, whatever you want to
Yeah,
do.
you
That's
can
15
you can
feet.
move there if you would like.
15 feet and you have another
I
15.
wanted to use what.
But
It would
remember,
actually be
number
20 because you're moving through Ronin Square.
number 1 has a bow.
It's true. He's got a long shot,
Yes.
too.
So you know that you're going to have some ranged creatures over there just taking shots at us. Or sorry, us. I'm used to playing characters with you guys. But
So I was saying I would move like here-ish.
Where's yours?
Yeah, DM, are we allowed
You
to
see?
help give her information on where to move to?
well, some people call that like metagaming and stuff, but this is your guys' first session. You're still trying to learn the abilities and the mechanics of the game. I really don't care if you guys want to maybe help her out if she wants it.
Yes, please.
Whatever you want. I would honestly try to move here, maybe.
You mean right here?
Right here.
Here.
Yeah, right there.
How many?
You
what's
still
that?
in spell range, and then if he tries to attack anybody, when
Yeah.
Went silent real.
Well, from what you see, Allannia, you're pretty sure that this creature, after his hugely successful blow against Thinor, he's probably going to be reluctant to peel off of Thinor to attack anyone else. He's probably going to want to try to finish the kill.
Well, that's why I wanted to get next to him to do magic mage armor.
Oh, okay. So mage armor is a spell for you, I believe.
Yeah, it says a will creature. You
Go ahead and link it, Maria.
okay.
Yeah. So mage armor, as you see, okay, so a willing creature who isn't wearing armor. Unfortunately, everyone here is wearing armor but you.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
So
Well,
yeah,
that
you don't.
sucks.
That's a good call though, to think about your allies and stuff and trying to add some defense. But yeah, you're the only one that can really benefit from the spell.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then you need to attack. Sister, I implore you across the campfire.
Now you
please.
could cast the spell on yourself if you wanted to, and your armor class would go up to a 13 plus your dex modifier, which is 2. So you'd have a 15. Sorry, 15 armor class,
Okay, well,
which is the same armor class that Thinor and Rellya have.
Now I need to save.
Look how that helps the North.
Yeah.
I would save the
It's worth
demons.
it.
You pessimist.
Yes.
Well, actually, if you move there, you're now in attack range of number 1. So
You can do
I would
Firebolt,
say-
Adam.
I would say try to eliminate this creature.
Could I
Yes.
do Melf's acid arrow?
You absolutely can.
Yes.
Yes.
Acid
Oh,
damage
he
would be
is
great.
no longer slowed, by the way, by that 10 feet reduction because it's Alania's turn.
That's right. Okay.
So
Okay.
I just removed that. So yeah, you could do Melf's Acid Arrow. Go ahead, link
It'll
it.
be like, I think it's gonna be my first time seeing this film.
I cast
Yeah.
it at level 2.
Link it, baby.
Okay, level 2 spell.
90 feet. Damn.
Jesus. You should have shot it at that fucker over there with that bow and arrow. Well, I guess this works too.
Trying to get Nor's
Take care of the leader. They all crumble.
Yeah, exactly. Take out the leader.
Oh my god, that's an awesome
So,
spell.
Alania will
Okay.
cast
So
Melf.
as you can see here, this requires a material component, but remember that's where the spellcasting focus comes in handy. You
Yes.
pull out your crystal on your necklace and you start to channel the weave through this necklace, and right away you can feel the weave coalesce around you as you're directing it, and there's this arrow that appears before you and it strikes out. Now you have to make a ranged spell attack, so remember that you get a +5, so go ahead, roll a d20 +5 to see if you can hit this bugbear.
Oh,
Damn! Oh!
Oh boy, you know,
Isn't a natural range of 90 though?
Well, the range.
yeah,
but
it's a range of 90, yes. But as Allannia reaches up and gathers the weave, and there's this greenish colored arrow in front of her that she lashes out and it streaks through the air, she just aimed it way a bit to the left because this creature is moving around. You know, he's just not static, just standing there like a puppet. Thinor and this bugbear are engaged in a battle. They're kind of in this dance as Thinor's trying to avoid getting smacked again, and this creature's trying to smack Thinor. This arrow hits against this boulder next to this bugbear, and you just hear the sizzling sound as the acid just hits it and just runs down, then just dissipates.
Damn, you
Wait,
missed.
no.
But
It's actually half damage.
And there's, yep, I know, I just read that. So, as it hits this rock, some of it splashes off, and it does take half of the damage. So half of the initial damage, no damage at the end of its next turn. So roll 4d4, and it's going to take half of what you roll here.
And then I can.
So you can do /r space 4d4, and it'll roll it. Perfect. For a
Oh, yeah.
total of 11, so it's, and you always round down, so 5.
So that's like 5. Well, that's not bad. At least you did something.
At least you
Yeah,
did some
damage
damage.
is damage.
That is cool. All right, and you do have, I believe, 15 feet of movement left if you wanted to move somewhere else.
Unfortunately, there's no good place for her to move.
Well, she's right in the range of one, I guess, regardless. Well, hold on. Let's do this real quick.
He sounded like a vacuum backfire.
So you can move if you're in the range there. Yeah, I would just stay there. I don't really know any place.
I would recommend stay in
Can I
place.
use a cantrip again?
No, because you used an action to do a spell. You can only do a cantrip if you were to also cast a spell as a bonus action. Does that make sense? So you already used an action. So most of your cantrips, I believe, cost an action. So
Well, like your other one where you
can't do it.
teleported backward as a second action.
yeah,
No.
that's a bonus spell.
Yeah, you don't
Or a
have
bonus
another one of
action, you
those.
Okay, gotcha.
Now, you do need to mark off the spell slot that you just did with Melf's Acid Arrow. So if you go to where your second level spells are, and you already did it.
Did.
Good. You already marked it off. So you have one second level spell left. And you were done.
But I tried the noise. Sorry.
Okay, so I don't mean to interrupt DM. Since I use Burning Hands, so I go down from 4 to 3 on mine.
Yes, you do. Yes.
Okay, so I can no longer use Burning Hands for the rest of this encounter.
No, you can. You can use it 3 more times. Also, if you add up your second level spell slots, you can also use Burning Hands as a second level spell. So you can still use it quite a few times.
Perfect. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yep.
85.
Yeah, this guy had really good cover, and we did not see him.
Oh, we see enemy 4 over here in the trees.
No, I think Andrew just
Oh,
sees
crap.
it. Thinor just sees him.
This guy
What the heck is that?
plucks off a shot, and he decides to do damage where it would hurt the party the most.
Oh,
Which,
boy.
as he comes out, he was hiding right behind this tree, and there's some other undergrowth here. Actually, this is a bush, actually. This is not a tree. That's a bush. So he pops out and lets loose an arrow. So in the northwest part of the screen, you can see number 5 as he's
Yep.
up there. There's a cluster of these goblins up there. And he comes out, and there's a twang sound as he lets go, and this arrow streaks out through the air. And it's aiming right towards Allannia.
Oh.
Oh, 60 feet. Jesus. I bet you that's the range.
Mm.
Oh boy. Allannia, you get pegged with another arrow. Or with an arrow. The other one was a sword strike. So 6 points of... Dang, the dice do not like you for some reason.
Oh.
6 points of piercing damage as an arrow hits you right across the shoulder and almost stuck right in, but you were turning and it just sliced you and cut you. Yeah, and you see this, you look over from where the arrow came and you see this goblin just cheer, and he actually literally jumps up in the air and cheers. And you see him go back behind this bush. And again, goblins do this. He is rehiding.
Can he rehide in that bright light?
He is behind the bush, so he's completely concealed.
Gotcha.
So yes. Now, if one of you were to go up there around the bush, that's a different story because he might be in plain view, which then he would no longer be hidden. But
Please, not
no
enemy.
one can. Yeah, no one can see him right now. So I need to check to see if he maintains. Oh, jeez. Okay, yeah, he's. You guys lose sight of him, but you know that he's there behind those bushes
Okay.
somewhere. Dang. Ronin, you like need to zip up your pants and like start doing
Well, hold
something.
Enemy 6 is dead, though.
Something.
Yes. So 6. Here's what I like to do: is whoever made the death blow when these cards come up when they're dead, I like to do this, and it's kind of like bragging rights. It's just kind of fun. So Dalton took that one out. So I put that card over top of Jeremy.
So I take his turn.
Yes.
No, yeah, he's dead. So he doesn't have any more turns. He's a crispy goblin.
Think of like when playing Smite, you have like your kill death. That is a
Oh, okay, so you replace it. I got you.
Yep. Now, number one, he's actually pretty miffed that there's this bright light here. He actually walks up to it, and he picks it up, and he throws it.
No.
Wait, what? What's this? Oh, no way! Yeah!
He's gonna throw it right back at us.
That's awesome.
Wouldn't it burn him though?
No.
No.
It's just a light source. It does not burn or cause any
Does not
environmental
make you-
No
damage.
damage. Okay.
Yep. But he picks it up and he throws it. Now, where he throws it, I'm not too sure.
He throws it right here.
Wonder if he'll roll a 1 when he throws it. Just
Right
flops
there.
right back where he.
No, he carries it. And then he throws it. My gosh. Roll20 is making me click on other things instead of what I'm actually trying to select here. Okay, this goblin. Now, goblins are pretty fast, too.
I see that.
Yeah,
When I talk to
they are pretty mobile. Well, mainly because of their disengage as well. But let me see. Yep, he's thrown it up this way, which my map doesn't even go that far. So there's still going to be some light over here. Actually, let's see how far he throws it. That's actually
he
a pretty
grabs the
good.
stone and runs away.
Boy, I'm just
Okay,
going to
so-
have to put it like...
You know,
I
you
can't.
probably
It
should
won't
put
let
the
me
magical
move
item.
this off of the map. So unfortunately, we'll just call it like the farthest point away that I can do. How's that?
Yep.
Okay.
So
So actually,
Now-
we can see their shadow then.
yeah. So take note of that too. So that's the light source. So just like anything, if there's objects that are obstructing your area, it's going to cause some shadows. That just like where your guys' light is, there would be, well, areas in dim light are already considered to be shadow. So I don't really see any shadows in the bright light area. But over here, there would definitely be some shadows in the bright light area because of this tree. If you look at here where the light is coming, it's like into the tree. So there's definitely going to be some deep shadows here, even in the bright light area.
Let me ask you. So we're viewing the northwest, where I'm pinging.
Mm-hmm.
Is it canceled out by the darkness between the two?
Well, there's a strip of blackness that you can't see, but you can still look over and see that there's some light emanating from this other rock over here. So if
Okay.
there was a creature in this band of darkness, you basically would not be able to see him.
Okay.
That's what that means.
Can I ask again, how much damage did Jeremy do to that goblin before? Was that up 13? 13,
With
I
the
believe,
burning
right?
hands, I believe so, yes.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Just wanted to make note of that.
4
Okay. 13 damage kills these goblins. Okay. At least.
Yep. So number 8.
Goblin.
Well, just know they all don't have the same hit point.
Yeah, they usually don't all have the same hit points.
What did they get?
This creature...
Usually what they do.
Ooh.
Well, I'm glad you're all taking.
Okay, Dalton, there
Um.
is an arrow coming your way from number 8 as he lines up a shot and he lets it loose. Oh, this arrow goes like very, very high. you're not quite sure how anyone could possibly misjudge a shot at that distance, but it goes way high, not even close. And this
Good
goblin
deal.
seems a bit frustrated, and he backs away. And let's see. Uh-oh. He moves into this thick brush. And you guys lose sight of him.
So
Oh
technically
my
that puts him
goodness.
in light radius then, right?
If you
Oh,
get close, yeah.
If you
He's
get
out,
close
he's
enough
hiding.
to see him within light, but the problem is there is some deep shadows being cast from the tree, or trees and undergrowth that are over in that direction.
Okay. Okay, Thinor, come on.
Thinor,
Oh god, guys, what am I do not to die?
Just
you can mess this guy up.
you can either really hurt him or you can back the fuck away and heal yourself. It's up to you. I'm sure you've got some
If I
sort
do
of
an action ability, will I still be able to move?
Yes. You always get to
Alright.
use your speed.
I pull out my rapier and I do a dex roll. I damage the boss, the number one, the purple guy.
Okay, yep. So go ahead and now your attack for that is +5 with your rapier. So go ahead and roll the d20 +5.
May God be
Hopefully-
on your side.
Yes. Kind words.
So I got windows above.
And hopefully you can trash this guy. Come on.
Slash.
Stab him.
I hope
Stab him in
so.
the face.
20 plus
Roll a crit.
5. Oh, god damn it.
Just roll a d20.
It's roll a d20, bro. /roll20. Oh!
Yes.
Oh
20
yeah,
damage,
so
bro.
that's
Yes.
total of a 20. You do it. You're pretty pissed off. You finally catch your breath, and you lurch forward with your rapier as you have it already drawn out at the ready, and you feel the blade just sink right into this bugbear, right into his side, as he's growling at you, and his eyes are wide as he looks down and he sees your blade just easily just piercing through his flesh and his homemade armor. Now go ahead, roll damage, which is a d8 +3, I believe is what you get. Yeah, with the rapier, so d8 +3. Go ahead and roll that.
There's
Oh,
the
hell yeah!
Devastating.
Wow.
So a
Yeah,
total of
critical hit.
11 damage. As you can see, his I let you guys see the hit points of the creatures because it makes sense to me that your characters in this world, you'll be able to tell when something's kind of getting run down and exhausted and tired and taking a lot of wounds. They're gonna show basically signs of wear. So
Sure.
this is one of them. That was an amazing strike. You just pierced this bugbear in the side. As you pull out your blade, it's completely covered with this deep red blood. And you already see blood just kind of running out of his wound and dripping down his side. And he looks at it in disbelief. And you see his jaw just drop open. And he's just wide-eyed as he looks at you in disbelief that you did that to him.
I taunt
Now,
him and ask him if it's hunger
You can
pain.
bards are notorious for being able to do all sorts of cool things. Like you can bestow inspiration on an ally. You can, if you have other bonus actions that you want to do, then you can do so.
Your bonus action is don't fucking die. You're at half-life.
So are these my spells or are these my
Well, so you did
talking
an
about bonus
action
actions.
to attack with your rapier. So yeah, if you go
So
to your
no
spell
spells.
sheet there, you have a bunch of spells, but most of them require an action. So you're not going to be able to do any of those. If you go to your abilities list, there is a bardic inspiration. I'll just go ahead and click that so you can see it in the chat.
I'm looking at it.
Yep. So you can use a bonus action on your turn to choose one creature other than yourself within 60 feet of you who can hear you. That creature gains one bardic inspiration die, which is a d6. So then that player basically, they'll get to decide when they want to use it for their character to enhance a roll, which sometimes can turn a miss into a hit or a save into
Or
a
saving
failure
throw,
into
yeah,
a success.
Interesting. You can still move after the bonus action.
Yep. Now,
what
one
if
thing that's
I would like
one
to
thing that's-
cast or not? Go ahead.
So one thing that stacks
instead
with
of
your
doing
bardic inspiration.
bardic inspiration, I think it would be better to do the combat inspiration on.
Okay, yep, that's what I knew you were going to
Dalton.
say. So the combat inspiration enhances your bardic inspiration. So normally bards can only inspire others for the limitations that you see in the block there for bardic inspiration. But because you're a Valor bard, not only do players get the choice to use a inspiration die for, saving throws and ability checks and attack rolls, but you guys, if you're inspired with his inspiration, you can also add that number rolled from the inspiration die to weapon damage that you roll. Or you can make, I think it's with a reaction, right? When an attack roll is made against the creature, it can use its reaction to roll the bardic inspiration die and add the number rolled to its AC against that attack.
Right.
Which is pretty awesome. So who do you want, if you want to use this, who do you want to give a bardic inspiration to?
Dalton, have you had a turn yet this round? I
This
don't think
round,
so.
no.
No, you haven't.
So I use it on Dalton.
Okay. So Dalton, since let's see, Andrew's dice color is purple, I'm going to use purple, and that will help us remember that Thinor has inspired you.
Is
So
it
you can use this
permanently?
whenever you want.
Okay, so it's once, and then once it's done, it's gone.
It lasts for there's a duration to it. It's going to definitely last this entire fight. I
Okay.
think it's gone after a short rest or an hour or something like that.
Okay.
I can't remember exactly.
I thank you for your blessing.
Dalton starts dancing around.
Yeah. Yeah, so you give him some words of inspiration. Dalton, you can do it! And I guess, are you done?
Still move.
No, I'm gonna
I would-
run away.
Okay, hold on. If you move, because you've already done an action, that means you cannot disengage. Which means if you move out of this bugbear's reach, he's going to get a free attack on you. And that's called an attack of opportunity.
Ooh, stay then.
That
Stay there.
that could be dangerous.
All
You
right,
must
I'm
stay.
gonna stay still since he had his turn.
Stay, Thinor.
Yeah, I would hold your
I'm
ground.
gonna hope Dalton can come slay him.
He gets
Okay,
big.
so you're going to hold your ground against this bugbear. Okay. Man, I don't know what's going on with the deck, man. Kyle, I'm sorry. This deck is just not filling you.
I just like watching everybody do everything. I mean, apparently that's my fucking life. I'm gonna go till 1 p.m. I'm gonna get one attack until 1 a.m.
Okay, Rellya, you are up.
All right, guys, I gotta go AFK. I gotta go pick up a charger. Don't let me die.
Okay. All right, Rellya. What are you doing?
There you go. Just wanted to finish that. I guess you should write that down if you want, so you remember. Let's see. Let's do.
I was about to say something, but I don't know if it's.
So I think what I'm going to do is, let's see, 30 minutes. 1, 2, 3.
Attack the minions.
Yes, attack the minions.
Attack
Okay, well,
the
with that
Titan.
said, I'm going to pump some light into the purple number 1. But
Yes.
before I do that, Rellya is going to say, we need to take out the bugbear right now. And she says, with him dead, I think the rest will flee. And as she's pulling back her bow, she's going to let loose.
Okay. Let loose. You're pretty close, so you better not miss.
Okay.
You're only 20 feet away. Come on.
Roll a fucking 1.
No pressure.
So good at rolling ones.
All right, Rellya. She lines up a shot. She has it at the ready.
11, that's good.
Bam! The bugbear whirls around and he sees the arrow coming to bring up his shield, but he's just a moment too late. And the arrow sinks in true for 11. Wow, excellent damage, guys.
Yeah, she
Wow.
shot him right in the face.
Oh,
Maybe. I
You
don't know.
pegged him in the chest, right where he has some frosted fur, where Allannia had blasted him, and it's still cold and kind of crackling. with the ice. Thinor, you could definitely hear the ice just kind of crackling against itself, and you hear some more ice cracking as this arrow just pegs him right in the chest. And this bugbear is just growling out in pain.
Nice. Did you already do the day? Holy
Nope,
crap.
there we go.
Nice. And I'm going to use an action surge.
He is not looking good. He's clutching at this arrow that's sticking in his chest.
Oh,
looking
we really
pretty
need
weak.
Dalton, man.
Using an action surge, and I'm going to pump another one into him, hopefully.
An action surge, okay. Now, an action surge is a cool ability fighters get. You're just like me, dude. Every time I play a fighter and I use action surge, it's a
Fucking
waste of
two.
freaking.
Now you gotta go on a fucking long rest. Good job.
Short rest,
Really.
but yeah.
Yeah, he gets that back every short rest, but.
Damn it. Well,
So that arrow goes flying way too high. You were, I guess, a bit too excited that you hit him so square on the last time.
Yeah, I'm gonna move. I don't want him looking at me anymore.
Okay, you decided to take some cover behind that rock. That's a good choice.
All right, and
You done?
I think I am done. Yep.
Ronin the Mighty!
Oh my God!
God.
Finally.
Come on,
If
Ronin.
you can believe it. Now
Well,
you can
like, look at my range. I can't go anywhere and do anything. I'm still fucking prone.
Alright, so I imagine you're going to stand up, right?
I'm standing up and wasting 15 feet.
Yep. And
Alright.
you're probably going to want to spend half of your free object interaction to draw both of your long swords, unless
Yes.
you want to do something else.
Nope, that's what I want to do.
Okay.
I want to have both swords out. So
You
now
guys
we
hear
got-
whoosh, whoosh, as Ronin stands up, and he has two long swords, one in each hand.
Okay, so now I've got 15. So I got six movement.
Now, just so you know, so you got 15 movement that you can do. But
Okay. Yeah.
you can also do what's called a dash action. So a
Mhm.
dash action, I think we talked about this last time, but a dash action lets you add on your speed again to your allowed movement, but that is your action. So you can get an additional 30 feet of movement to get in someone's face for the next time if you did a
Or-
dash.
Or I can do an action surge after that.
You can do an action surge, yes. So you could dash to get in someone's face and then do an action surge to do an attack.
Yes.
wanted
So
to.
that's what I want to do to the number one. So I'm going to
To the bugbear?
yes.
Yes, Kyle.
Okay,
So-
go ahead and move.
I will go there.
Or you could move right
See,
here.
this is just like a game of
Your
Smite.
sword's at it.
Newborn runs away.
No, I need
Kyle
to
comes
attack
saves it.
it because I need to get this fucking thing out of here. And I think I might.
You won't be able to attack it this turn if you use a dash action.
Yeah, I can
Oh,
use
wait,
an
that's
action.
not true.
I can
Action
use an.
surge.
I can
Yes.
use an
Yeah.
action.
Oh, action surge. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
That's
Oh,
what
Okay,
it
you
so
more than
you
me.
can push yourself beyond your normal limits for your turn.
Yes.
On additional action on top of your regular action.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay,
I-
real quick, hold on. Thinor, make sure you mark off your Bardic Inspiration. So you get 3 per long rest, and you've used 1. So mark 1 off. So you should have 2 left.
And I do
Your
that
Bardic
in my,
Inspiration. There's a Bardic
spellcast.
Inspiration box on your core sheet. Next to your crossbow
Okay.
bolts, it says Bardic Inspiration 3. Mark it down to 2. And then likewise, Rellya, did you mark off your action surge?
Yeah. I already
Okay.
did that.
So go ahead and mark off your action surge, Ronin. And Ronin runs around the campfire, draws his weapons, and as you run up to this bugbear, you twirl your blades around, and all you guys right there can hear the wind, the whir of the blades moving, slicing through the air. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. And you run up, it's just a flurry of blades. As Ronin, you come in and you just try to bite these blades right into the flesh of this furry creature. And you use your action surge. So go ahead, do your main hand attack. D20 plus, I think, plus 5. Yes.
Come on, Ronin. And it's a 2.
12.
No, 12.
12 plus
12
5.
plus the
17.
5, which is a 17. So
Oh.
this bugbear sees you coming, and his eyes again go wide, but he's looking down at his chest. Now he has blood oozing out of 2 wounds, but he's clutching at this arrow. And he tries to bring his shield around, but it's just too awkward for him, and he has his whole side exposed here, his whole right side, and you just whirl around with your blade, and you do this backward hand slash, and it cuts across his other side of the torso, opposite where he was stabbed with the rapier. So go ahead, roll the damage, D8 plus 3, I believe. Yes. Oh my
Yes.
gosh, you guys are rolling
That's
max
right.
damage.
Yes,
That is
maximum damage.
insane.
I'll slay you, you foul fucking creature. How dare you?
Wow,
Now.
you cut him deep, and you even feel your sword just slice across through his flesh. And you can feel his flesh just give way as it's being serrated. And he lets out a scream. And he seems frantic, like he doesn't know what to do.
Oh, no way.
That was only the main hand attack.
And that was only
my
the main
main
hand.
I
Now-
guess-
Yeah, the offhand attack.
Finish him off with your offhand attack.
Oh, actually,
Yes.
Do I have to
another
roll a
one?
d20?
Yep,
Yeah,
another
actually.
D20 plus 5. This is your bonus action. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh!
Oh,
Jeez,
wow.
yeah.
A crit!
Flop his head
A crit. Now, crit means you get to roll double damage dice for
Right.
the attack,
He has like
plus
two-
your
He
modifier.
has like 2 health.
But it's
So,
a D8 plus
because
five
you get a
when you
D8,
roll in. Okay. yeah.
Roll 2d8
So he can't.
plus 5. Or
Right.
plus 3, I mean. 2d8 plus 3.
Can this creature have a saving throw since he,
Eight,
No. Saving throws
8
are...
plus
Oh
6.
my gosh.
So 11
God.
and
So
9.
14 plus 3. So
Talk
17.
about
17 damage.
overkill.
Okay, Kyle, why don't you tell us what, Ronin, why don't you tell us what you do to this creature?
Okay,
This
so as I
bugbear.
dash past the campfire and past all of my wounded allies, I say, I'm sorry I'm late to the battle. And I do a double swing right into this. You will not attack my members anymore, you foul creatures!
I mean, you brutalized him. As he looks up and he holds up kind of his weapon and his shield, like to try to fend you off, it was just no match for your flurry of blades. And he just, as he's about to say something, you just cut him down. And he slumps to the ground, and you guys all hear a thump on the ground as this beast just lays there motionless. And the grass is already getting saturated with the blood that's just pouring out of his 3 wounds. Well, more than that after your flurry of blades here.
Can I elaborate? So I cut his head off, and then I cut him in half by the waist.
There you go.
Okay, so a few more hacks to make sure that the job is
Yes.
done.
Yes.
Yeah, he's done for.
did he drop any furs, any of his armor?
Well, the match is not over, right? The
Well,
DM's
I
not-
would
You're
say
already
that
trying to
was
loop.
that was worth waiting for, right, Kyle? Like, geez,
Yes, I think it was, finally. Jesus.
holy crap! I think that's
Oh,
frustration
God damn it.
coming
Who's
out
gonna
there
shoot
too.
me, guys?
I'm so sorry. Can you please explain to me how to mark off my dash, my special
Oh,
action?
Guys, this
Uh,
guy's about to fuck
oh.
me up. I'm just saying. He's hiding.
So
he's
your
hiding over here. I can't tell you where. I mean, maybe
so
I can.
Ronin, see where it says action surge, 1/short. It's right
Or
on the right hand side of your attacks.
Yes, mark it down to
Underneath the
0,
fluff.
right?
Yep, mark it down to 0.
Okay, got
So
it.
when you take a short rest, which will happen very soon, you will get that back.
Gotcha. Okay.
or his morale might be weakened and he could run. Just
Now.
kill his boss.
4. Thinor, as this body of this bugbear, he drops in front of you. You look out beyond, and with your dark vision, you can see number 4, and he has his bow up, and you see him just drop his bow down like this. He lowers it, and he's looking wide-eyed at you, and then staring at Ronin, and his jaw drops, and then he starts screaming out in, again, this language that you can't understand, but he starts yelling out, "Done! Done!
Damn, I wish I was a higher level. I could cast some
Haran
spells.
Dran.
Dran. And whatever he's saying, he's yelling it out frantically, and he turns and he runs.
Away. Yeah.
He just saw Ronin completely slay the shit out of his.
Yes. And let
Hell
me make
yeah.
sure I move him the right amount.
I couldn't have done it without all of you guys.
Clean
Where's
up.
Rellya at?
Kyle, that's what you're good at, man. You're good at clean up.
Okay, I don't know if you can see, but he is just on the left edge corner of the map, and he has no interest in this fight. He is getting out of dodge.
Okay, so basically he flees from the battle.
Yep, he flees from the battle.
Okay.
Number 3, who fell from the rock up here, if you recall. He tried to climb it. Now remember, each round is only 6 seconds long of game time for our characters. This all happened amazingly fast. So we're not even done with the second round quite yet. And the bugbear just went down like that. Thanks to your guys' maximum damage rolls, you guys just obliterated him. That was insane. But this goblin is standing up. And he seemed, he's looking around, but he can hear that goblin as he's yelling those words, and he makes a run for it.
Nope, no survivors.
Actually, he was prone, so he gets less.
Well, he was right
there.
here.
Yeah, he was right there. So oh no, he can, because he's going to dash actually, so he can actually move even farther. Okay, yep, right there. So he's done. Number 2, who you guys have not seen yet. But you guys see a goblin running from this direction. He comes out into view up here. And he comes out from these rocks, and he's running for it.
He's like, fuck this.
Yeah,
Yep.
pretty much. And that was the end of that round. So now I will shuffle. Now we start round number 3. So 12 seconds has passed, is all, for this whole entire thing that's happened so far. Third round, number 4. I think it's safe to say now, number 4 down in the lower left-hand corner of the screen, he is gone. He is well off the map.
Mm-hmm.
And I will go ahead and remove his card. Dalton.
Oh, yes, you have a bardic inspiration.
Yep, you are inspired, and you see kind of a shape of a goblin back behind the tree. There is some concealment there, and probably some cover if you were to do a ranged attack.
Okay, I don't think I'll do a ranged attack just for safety's sake.
Okay. And remember, moving through Allannia square is going to cost you double movement.
Right, so I won't try to do that. So I will go ahead and cast. I open my tome of healing. I flip the page, and I cast Prayer of Healing upon 6 different targets.
Oh, okay, hold on. Prayer of Healing is an out-of-combat spell, because if you look at the casting time of it, it's quite horrendous. It's like 10 minutes or something like that.
Oh, yes. Nope. Is there a quick spell healing you can do?
So Prayer of Healing, casting time, 10 minutes.
10 minutes,
so,
okay, no.
and only 12 seconds have passed so far. So imagine spending 12 or 10 minutes, yeah. So that's more of an after combat, like get the party back up healthy type spell.
Okay.
Because it's an AoE heal, and it's very powerful, very effective. But if you want to heal someone, Cure Wounds is probably the most effective spell that you could do. You could buff it up to a 2nd level spell slot, and it will be 2d8 plus your spell casting modifier.
So I'll do that. I'll open my tome. I'll flip the page.
That'd be within touch range.
And I will cast Cure upon Allannia.
Okay, Cure Wounds on Allannia. Do you want to do a 2nd level slot on that?
I will.
Okay, so mark off a 2nd level slot, and you will do. I just clicked, and nothing happened. But anyways, I'm pretty sure it's going to be 2d8 plus 3 is what you were going to
D8,
heal for.
2. That's 13.
So she's basically back at full health.
She should be, well, close to, if not.
Close to full health, almost.
Right. So 10 plus, yeah, so 12 plus 12. Let's see what we're at.
Yes, full health.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's exactly how much you needed to roll to get her exactly full health. Allannia,
Thank you
a
for
wave
saving
of
my sister.
bluish light emanates over you as Dalton casts these words and says like a prayer to Amanator, the sun god, and puts his hand on you, and this energy just radiates out from his hand, and it just fills your body, and you feel this warmth and the pain that you were feeling from getting stabbed and then struck barely by this arrow. It just goes away, and you look at the wound, and the flesh just mends itself just rather quickly, and you feel completely invigorated.
By the power of God, be healed.
Dalton's kind of a G, man.
Again, for
Yeah.
saving my
Dalton,
arms.
I thank you. Thank you for
Yeah.
healing my sister.
So, are you done?
Alas, you are welcome. Dalton ends his turn.
Okay. Now, number 2.
That's the one that's off the map, right?
Well, he's up
Yeah.
top here. But he's now going to be off the map now. Yes.
Okay.
So he's good as gone. No catching him. Whoops.
Give me Ronin. I'm going
That
to
was weird.
slay this 7 before he tries to.
Anyways, accidentally put it on the card on the tabletop there, but oh well. Doesn't matter. All right, Allannia. Now, Allannia, you have a pretty good range on your spells. There is that goblin number 7 over there that you see, but also there's enough light that you can see number 1 up there. Not number 3 because he's in the darkness,
Oh, I see. Okay.
Mhm.
but number 1 you can definitely see through the gap in the bushes and stuff there. You can make out number 1, and yeah, if you wanted to do a firebolt or some sort of spell at him,
Holy shit, that's 80 feet.
That's
dude.
80
you
feet.
definitely could. Yep,
Yeah,
80
but I
feet.
got 120 feet, right?
Yeah,
I don't-
firebolt goes 120 feet.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to kill him. You know he's going to
You got
run.
it. Eat
Is
him.
it 1d10 fire?
Or you could do a Melf's Acid Arrow, or
Can I do that again, even though I already did that?
yeah, because you
If a
have
spell slot.
you have 1 second level spell slot left, so you could try to nail him with an acid arrow. No.
Oh,
wait, that's
Andrew.
Andrew.
Oh my
I
goodness.
thought that was
Hey,
Allannia.
Oh my god, you just
Oh,
stole
you
her 20, bro.
lost. Yeah,
Crap.
See what you do?
Son
Roll
of
it.
a bitch.
Do it. Do it,
That
dude.
could have been
I'm
her
gonna get a
roll.
1 now.
Oh, geez.
No,
shoot.
don't think that way. You got it.
Okay.
My sister.
Hey,
please.
another 20. I've seen it happen several times. Okay.
Yes.
Still a hit.
Solid
Still
hit.
a hit.
This goblin, you see the back end of him, and he's looking at his buddies, and they're saying something. You guys kind of hear a clamor of goblins just speaking, and it's starting to fade in the distance as they're all fleeing. But you see that number 1. I believe he was the one that pegged you, right?
He
Mhm.
was.
Yes,
Thought
he
you-
was.
So you kind of have something to prove here to get him back. So you narrow your eyes and you finish the spell. You feel the familiar gathering of the weave, and you launch out this greenish bolt of acid as it flings through the air and strikes number 1 right dead in the back. Now he has to make a. Oh wait, I don't think there is there.
He's,
a saving throw?
he's fleeing. What do you get
Yeah.
a saving throw?
No.
Yeah. If the spell says he gets a saving throw, he still gets the saving throw.
I don't think he does get
He
it.
doesn't.
But
No,
I
it
don't
has-
think he does.
doesn't
So,
say it
Go
does.
ahead.
yep, because you hit him. So roll 4d4 acid damage,
Oh
which
my
he takes
goodness.
immediately, and then
4d4. Do I add any?
he'll take 2d4 additional acid damage at the end of his next turn. So
So he's
he
gonna
could
die.
possibly, very possibly, if you roll really good here, just
Yeah.
end up dying from that additional burst of damage. 8.
1. Yeah.
Gosh.
Okay, that's probably not enough to kill him. Yeah. I
Nope.
figured.
Doesn't have quite enough to kill him, but you rest assured that you know that as the acid continues to burn away at his flesh, that it's probably going to get into his organs and he's going to be gone for.
So I rolled 2 more d4.
No,
not yet.
It's done. You have to roll it whenever it's the end of his next turn.
End of his next turn, then
Oh.
he's
He's
going to
gonna-
be taking that acid damage.
He's gonna flee by then, I'm assuming. So
which
he'll die in the
gonna-
wilderness.
I'm going to put like a green mark on him just to note that he has acid damage. I don't think it'll matter. I think you all know that he's going to basically.
Yeah.
You'll find his body later if you go searching for it, eaten
yeah.
away by acid. Well done, Allannia. Do you want to move or do anything else?
Actually, no.
Okay.
Stay where I am.
Well, that has to be feel quite good to Allannia to get revenge there on that pesky creature.
Mhm.
Now, number 3 goes. It's gone.
Yep.
Rellya.
Well, not knowing things, she is going to come about.
You still see number 7 over there. Remember,
I know,
you have
but
dark vision, so
she doesn't know that purple's dead, so she's going to come with her bow aiming to take
Oh, right.
out the bugbear, but she sees it all crumpled down on the floor, just hacked away. So she's
Yep.
going to immediately turn looking for a new target, and she sees this nice, rumptious-looking little goblin right over there.
Yep. Now you definitely might want to move to get some better shot, or you could try to shoot through the branches of the tree.
Well, I got 15 feet left, so what if I moved right there?
You would be shooting over some bushes, so that would be actually a pretty good shot. There'd be, well, he has some concealment there, but not
Right.
cover, so you would be able to get him from there. Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, I'm gonna let one loose.
All right. You aim up, standing on your tiptoes. Standing over the bushes. You let loose, and the arrow sinks true.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And
Okay,
this
I'll
is
double
a
damage.
crit because Rellya is a champion fighter, which means as a champion, his critical range for weapon attacks is a natural 19 or 20,
Oh,
which is pretty
okay.
sweet. So this is a critical for Rellya. So roll the 2d8 plus 3.
Come on, get damage. Oh, yeah.
13. That might be a
13,
killing
hell
blow.
yes.
And you stand up on your tiptoes, thunk, you let go, and it just, whoosh, there's a whir as the arrow pierces the air, and then you guys hear a thunk sound, and you hear, and you look, and you notice that your arrow went right into the throat of this goblin, and he's gagging
Nice.
immediately on his own blood.
Dead!
And he
Yeah.
drops down on the ground, and he's clutching at his throat, and he falls backwards.
And after the amazing shot, she just looks back at just gives this big smile. Like she
That just
got him.
makes me want you even more, Rellya. Trust me, by the end of this campaign, you will be mine.
Jeez. Right on, and that's it. That's all I got.
Well done. All right, number 5. Yeah, it's looking like it's reaching the end here. Number 5, he's gone. 8. You guys didn't see him, but he was back over into this direction, way over here.
Is it north, south? I was scrolling, I couldn't see it.
Yeah.
Northeast?
1 second. Right. He was in this direction.
Northwest, okay.
Yep. So he was actually right in the midst, right here. So safe to say, I think he is gone. Yeah. He's going to be able to definitely get quite a bit of distance away. Okay. This goes, the boss
Dead.
goes to Kyle. And then number 1 takes his turn, and he's screaming out as he feels a burning sensation right on his back, and his homemade makeshift armor is doing little to protect him from that damage. And he just says, Meg gun, and he's clutching, trying to pat, but he looks at his hand and he screams out in pain as he feels his back, and there's this wet like residue on his hand, and then he starts to scream because now his hand is hurting him, and he tries to wipe it off, and he's trying to run, then he starts to stagger, and this acid is just eating away his flesh rather quickly. Roll 2d4 damage, Allannia. Oh my gosh.
Yes, 7.
Wow.
Motherfucker slayed.
Death to the unholy.
And he drops to the ground, quite dead.
That's my sister.
There you go.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
then Ronin, I'm not sure there's really anything for you to do
No.
here.
Can I go pick the body of the boss? Since I'm right next to him? Do I
Sure,
roll?
you can start taking a look at what he has.
Okay, what do I need to roll?
Nothing. You can just spend your action, your turn to
Okay.
take a look at what he quickly has. You notice that he has a pouch at his side, like a belt pouch, and it
Yes.
jingles with the sound of coin.
Yes, I take the coin. I take the pouch with coin.
And you notice another, like a belt pouch, and you feel something like an object, like kind of like a flask,
Kyle, just I'm gonna steal it.
on the inside
Yeah. Okay.
of this pouch.
I would essentially like. He's got some coin here, and he's got some pouch. I would like to take it.
By all means, to the victor goes the spoils.
Of course, I will share it with everyone here.
Okay, so the goblins run off. I'm going to call the fight. I'm going to recall the cards. The goblins, the rest, they run away. I don't think you guys are going to be able to make any more kills. So let me call.
Can I ask how much?
Yes.
Can I identify what I picked up, or is that another?
Yep. I will tell you in just a second. All right.
Okay.
Let me just remove the deck there.
I'm the only one
Alright.
who decided to loot the boss. What the fuck's wrong with all of you?
I said
Well,
about-
you
I
went
said
first.
something about it
That's
earlier.
why.
Okay.
Yeah, I said something about it earlier.
Okay.
Having furs, anything.
Oh, yeah, you did say that. Sorry about that, Andrew.
Well,
Yes, it was
I'll
your-
share the coin and the.
Well,
the
you're
loot,
right there.
the
You're right
spoils
there.
with
and,
everyone.
Whatever
So
it
you
is,
see
I'm gonna
Ronin reach down and he grabs a bag and it clings with the sound of coin. You quickly take a look inside and you find that there is a number of gold and silver inside. There's a total of 30 gold and 50 silver.
Yes.
And there is seemingly a potion, it looks like, inside that other pouch that he was carrying. And on close inspection, this potion, what it looks like when you hold it up to the light, you see these several different layers of color. You see brown, silver, and gray, kind of like bands of stone. Like if you were to cut away a section of earth and you kind of see the different layers of the dirt and like sediment and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what you're seeing.
Like a dirt potion. Yes. Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of what it looks like, but definitely it's somewhat of a
magical item.
somewhat viscous. It has some viscosity to it. So
Okay.
maybe one of the magic users can figure out what it is.
Yes. Can Allannia, can you please try to roll to identify what this potion is?
Would that be detect magic?
No, Arcana check. So go ahead, do an Arcana check. I like to do Arcana checks for figuring out what a magic item is and what it does.
See arcane recovery. Sorry.
No, Arcana, it's a skill. So you should have. It's a +5. So D20 +5.
Damn.
14.
Okay. One thing you observe, you're not sure what this potion is, unfortunately, but one of the things that you do observe as you try to figure out what it does is as you swish the potion around, you notice that the color bands of this potion, they are not mixing together. They are staying completely separate,
I would
which
like
is
to,
very interesting to you, but you're not sure what the actual effects of this potion might be.
Since I'm in possession of this potion, I would like to hand it over to Allannia for further inspection. In the meantime, I will take the 30 gold and 15 silver. Is that correct?
50.
Yeah, I think
30
I
gold
can
and
that.
50.
It was 30 gold and 50 silver.
Okay, I gotta find a way to adjust that on my.
Are you taking all of it?
Where's money? No. I'm gonna take it and I'll divide it. See how much I have before I divide it. Actually, hold on.
Well, there's
So I'm
5
gonna-
of you, so
Right.
if you did 30, so everyone can get 6 gold.
Yes, I'll give everybody 6
Okay.
gold and I'll give everybody 10.
Okay, so everyone gets 10 silver and 5 gold. So you can go ahead add that to your sheet. On the character sheet, that is down on equipment. You'll see CP, SP, EP, GP, and PP. GP is gold pieces. SP is silver pieces. So
Okay.
everyone can add 6 gold and 10 silver.
You said to the core character sheet?
Yep, on core. Yep, under equipment. You'll see a
And
section.
SP,
for your gold
silver
pieces.
pieces.
Yep, silver pieces for
10.
SP.
Okay, what is EP?
EP is electrum pieces.
Okay, gotcha. Okay. All right. You're welcome, everybody. Sharing my loot. I could have bought many maiden whores at bars with this money, but I decided to share it out of the grace of my heart, and primarily because Jeremy decided to save my sister. So all of you, and the fact that I had sat there for so long at my campfire before I did my Loki dash. So we're,
Yeah, that was
Anyway.
pretty badass, I must say.
the enemies are dead. We're
So-
good.
Okay, so Dalton, you were also a spellcaster. Allannia looks at it. She seems she has a frown on her face that she doesn't really know what it does, but she did observe the property that the colors are not mixing together. She swishes the potion around. Do you want to go ahead and take it from her and see if you can figure out what it does?
Yeah, I'm trying
Oh,
to figure out
I've
which
given. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I gave it to Allannia. So, yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Right. So yeah. So I'm just pointing out, Allannia, you can, if you want, you can hand the potion over to Dalton to see if he can figure out what it does, or you can keep it to yourself, and maybe Dalton doesn't care. I don't know. What do you want?
I'd like to see this mysterious liquid that is in here. It looks like there are different densities, but I can't tell.
Okay.
So you showing Dalton?
Yes, I just have
Okay, so inside my character sheet, what am I looking at to help identify?
Arcana, which ouch. Actually,
I have
maybe
-1. That would not be good for me. No.
Unless you roll a
Well-
high roll.
Thinor he has a 0 for his Arcana check, so I guess you might as well try. Maybe you have some experience in your background, or you've been at a temple for a while. Maybe you've come across this potion before. Who knows? We'll let
That
the
is
dice
true.
tell the story here.
That is true.
You never know.
Please, Allannia, let me see this. Perhaps the holy light shall show me the way of this potion.
him.
Roll the d20.
-1.
So it's
Oh.
Damn it! You don't know shit either. Okay. Well, this
Yeah.
potion remains
Yeah.
a mystery.
You agree? Like, yeah, this is strange. The colors are not mixing together. Like, I
Thinor?
don't know what else is to do. Now, Thinor, you have a shot at this. You could go ahead. You've observed the same, that the colors are not mixing together. Maybe you know a tall tale or a story from your past that might give some clue as to what this potion actually is.
Sing to us, Thinor.
Okay, so I'll hand over the potion to Thinor. Thinor,
Okay.
perhaps you can identify this potion. It is beyond my task at the moment.
Oh,
She's like, all right.
Yeah, so just your Arcana check is just a 0, so just roll a d20.
All right.
Very subtle.
You're so into fucking.
do I even roll?
Yeah. Roll
Yeah,
a
D20.
d20.
Yeah, roll a 20, bro.
Watch it roll like 20.
Thinor's just stunned out of.
Oh!
Oh, no,
You
no,
have
no
not a
shit.
clue. Wow, this is unfortunate.
Yeah,
So no one knows what it is, what it does.
So-
Perhaps if you get to Willowdale, you'll be able to
This might
find
be
someone who can
metagaming,
tell you what it is.
But because
Okay.
I can cast a cantrip,
Nope, I'm not letting you do that.
All right,
Cantrip
all
is
right,
you don't
all
have
right.
any sort of real knowledge about how the weave
For
works
sure,
or
for sure.
how to use it to
I thought I
figure
was
it
trying
out.
metagaming. Alright.
Yeah.
I could have just shattered it.
Fuck
then.
up, Casey.
You know what? Just throw it away.
Screw this potion, shatter.
Okay, apparently it sucks. Just leave it here.
All right, so who's going to carry it? Is Allannia just going to carry the potion?
Well, I would prefer Allannia keep it.
Okay.
I
So
shall.
if you don't mind, Thinor, if you can hand the potion back to Allannia.
On the potion.
Okay.
I shall study as we
That
walk.
adds bag weight.
So, Maria, go ahead. Put on your character sheet under, I guess, somewhere where you can put it on equipment, or actually, no, better yet, on your bio. Click on the bio tab, and under treasure, you can put Bugbear Potion. And that will be a reminder that, hey, this is the potion that you got off of that bugbear that you guys killed. And then hopefully you guys can later figure out what this potion does.
Are
So-
we able to later on roll again to figure
Not unless
Right.
something changes. So normally this, I would allow a player to re-roll an Arcana check to figure this out if they gain a level, which normally happens after some downtime with your character, which would simulate the fact that your character probably spent some time reading through a library and some other books, maybe learned some additional knowledge that would allow them to maybe figure out what it did. Which, of course, if you failed that roll, then that means maybe your character didn't care enough to really figure out the things that were required to to learn what the potion is. So, I really love letting the dice tell the story, because not even I know exactly what's going to happen or how it's going to go down, because I always play and interpret the dice rolls, and I just let the dice determine stuff. So, yeah, unfortunately, you guys won't be able to re-roll an Arcana, but you already gave it your best. Maybe in Willowdale, maybe you guys will be able to figure it out. So you guys get back around the fire. You guys probably dispose of the goblin bodies so they're not too close to your camp, just to try to help fend off maybe some scavenging animals like wolves and the like that might be nearby. From time to time, you guys do hear a howl in the distance. And there's definitely wolves up here in the mountains. But you guys enjoy the rest of the evening without any sort of encounter or anything bad happening. So daybreak comes.
Can we reset?
All of you.
Was that a long
What's that?
Can we reset our short and long? Or is
Yes,
that
you
not-
can. And
Okay.
also, actually, before we effectively do the long rest effects. No, actually, sorry. We're going by the 5th edition book, which is after a long rest, all of your wounds are automatically recovered. So everyone is full health. So go ahead and mark your hit points on your character sheets to be maximum, because after a long rest, they all recover, and you get half of your hit dice back. If you had ever expended any, you will get 1 hit dice back onto your pool of hit dice.
Yeah, the only thing I had was my action surge, so I'm just...
Okay, so our spells reset too.
Bardic goes back up.
Yes. And all of your spell slots are recovered. So you now have 4 first level spells and 2 second.
Perfect.
Yes. Okay.
So everyone is completely full again on all your resources.
I thanks.
Yeah. So, and the alarm spell fades as you guys complete the long rest.
That was useful.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was useful,
Yes.
but, well, it could have been bad, depending on, if that bugbear tried to creep into the camp to maybe stab one of the squishies like Allannia in the throat. That could have been very useful. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, it was Rellya who was the lucky target.
I never got hit once though, so it was okay.
Yeah, you never did. You evaded. That was quite good.
Yeah.
The climbing a tree posed more of a threat for you.
Yes, it did.
So, okay. So you guys head off. You get your horses. Now, normally, notice as well, I didn't talk about the horses. We have them tethered in some place, and normally, when a game goes, you guys would definitely have to probably worry about protecting the horses. But just to be nice, I didn't even have the horses a part of this encounter because it would screw things up big time if your horses got killed. So
Right.
that could be a big problem. So to just make it easier to keep the story going and flowing, your horses survived the night from the onslaught of goblins and bugbear, and of wolves and anything else that might have been a danger throughout the night. So you guys mount your supplies up, get back on your steeds, and you head back on the road towards Willowdale. Now, on this, yep. Now, during this day, the clouds, it was pretty overcast during the morning, but the clouds break, and it ends up actually clearing up into a very nice day. As you guys approach late afternoon, you come over a rise, and down below, you can see a little village down in the depths of a little valley where you can see some other mountainous peaks surrounding this little vale. And you gather this must be Willowdale. Right away, even from your position, you can see several farmhouses scattering about the land. You see lots of farmland. But definitely Willowdale is right there in the center where there's a cluster of buildings. All of them seem to be fairly small, though, but save one. There is one building that definitely is standing out amongst the rest. You would gather maybe that's probably an inn or a tavern. So, as you approach down the road, you see a couple of men with bows and swords at their sides, and there's like a stump on the side of the road, and they see your approach, and one steps out onto the road and holds his hand up. He says, "Whoa, whoa, who goes there?" And he says, "Who are you, and what business do you have in Willowdale?"
Sorry, sir. We are travelers. We have just
Someone
slayed
should do this perception check to check their race.
They're human.
You want to do a what?
Okay.
Yeah,
said
they're
someone
both
should do a
human.
Perception check to check their race. He said
Okay.
they're human.
They're human.
Yeah, no need for perception. You all figure that they look like humans.
We have two elves. We walk into all dwarf village.
Yeah, all you guys are on horses. And I think we already established that Ronin was like in the lead.
Sorry, gentlemen. We do not mean to cause harm. We are from the casted to come to try to figure out what plagues the town. We have just spent our entire night slaying off wild beasts, and now we come to arrive to try to figure out how we might help. Please let us lend our aid.
And he takes a look. Now, do you mention the Ruby Legion?
Yes.
Okay. His eyes go wide. He says, "Oh, finally, help has arrived at last. Indeed, yes, it looks like you are from the Ruby Legion." And he says, yes, please, you must speak with Gowan. And now if you recall, Lord Blackwell mentioned that Gowan is like the mayor of this village. He basically runs things, and if, he does take great pride in his ability to run things himself and that he doesn't need the help of like a greater city. So the fact that he actually sent help to Lord Blackwell means that this must be of quite dire circumstances. Now, is this the formation? I'm trying to remember. Is this the formation that you guys normally go?
It was
If
like
Dalton and Thinor switched, I think, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
I mean, is it, okay.
Mhm.
Kind of like that. Okay. Now, so this guard, he bades you guys to just continue on down the road.
Thank you. Please show us the way to. Please lead us to the way to Galwin. Or point us in the right direction.
And he says, "Oh, the largest building there. You can't miss it. No doubt Gowan is probably there. That is the Silver Blade Inn and Tavern is where he's most likely to be at. Please, make haste."
Thank you, kind sir. I would like to leave him a silver for his help, for his
Okay.
diligence in welcoming us. So I will leave him a piece of that one guard on the left. I'll leave him a piece of silver.
Okay, so you fling a coin out, and he catches it, and he looks at it, and he says, "Thank you, kind sir." And he says, "And what is your name?"
My name is Ronin. We've come to help your people.
Thank you, Ronin. May a monitor of the light be with you all. May you be able to purge the darkness that has overcome the people here.
Okay, and I go down a silver piece, and we move forward.
Yep, and you move forward. Now, you guys easily make your way down into the main town center. There is a path where farmers traveling and where most of the commons people in this area tend to congregate and gather into a main market street, where there is a main market during the day where people are trying to sell fruits and vegetables and other knickknacks. And there is another thing that catches your eye. Definitely, you would have noticed this from a distance, but definitely as you get a bit closer, you actually can't believe your eyes. You see a tower right near the center of the whole town of Willowdale. And this tower is completely dark, almost black, at least from a distance it appears that way. And as you get closer, it seems like this tower is made completely of metal. And this tower is extending 100 feet up into the air. And at this point, I need you all to roll a history check.
Okay.
A 20.
Yep, D20 plus your history check modifier.
17 plus 3 is 20 for Ronin.
Um,
12 plus 1 for me.
Oh, wow.
Where's the history check modifier at?
Recheck
You
it.
can just click on, if you go to your skills, you can click on the skill that you want to use, and it'll roll it for you with the modifier in it.
Yep.
If you want to do it that way.
yeah,
What is
you
that?
could just click on the skill on the sheet if you want. So you can just click history and it'll roll it for you.
Where's history?
It's
Under
below
On
strength,
skills,
below strength, dexterity, constitution, all that. It's below that.
Below the saving throws.
Allannia, you have a +5 for history.
I see strength, dex, constitution,
So
intelligence.
I'll just roll a 20 and add that.
Yeah, below saving throws. There's acrobat.
Oh, yes, yes.
Oh,
There you go, guys.
I hope
I have a 0 history.
somebody
That's why I can't
different.
see it.
damn, you don't know what the fuck's going on at all, sister.
Shoot,
For a girl that
did
likes
not
this
expect
one.
that.
Did not expect
Okay, so sorry, Jeremy, what was yours after the modifier? It was
12 plus 1.
so 13, and Kyle, yours was a 20.
18
Mine-
plus
mine's
3 was
20.
21.
Oh.
I had an 18 plus 3, I believe.
Oh, I see a 17 is what you rolled.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, okay, you're
Okay,
right.
so a 20. So the highest are Rellya and Kyle, who are fighters, which is very interesting. Followed by, the Bard. Okay, so Jeremy and Allannia and Dalton, the two that I would totally expect to at least know what this is. You guys don't have a clue. For some reason, in your experiences of your studying and everything, you've never heard of anything, at least that's sparking a memory to you of what this structure is. Now, Rellya and Ronin, in fact, Ronin, as you get closer, you're like, no way. Can this be? And you remember a story from, I believe it was your Olanellis, the weapon master, where he helped guide you and teach you in your study of weaponry and fighting. But you know, the art of war, there's a lot that goes into learning your enemy and tactics and fighting. And you actually did have to study a little bit of history with fighting. And some of that lore included a tale about the what was called the Dragon's Bane of Kyrus. And Rellya, even though you come from Quinesti, even the legend emanates all the way to there as well, where you've heard the stories and you can't believe it either. You hear Ronin speak out, no way, can this be? And you look at it and you were thinking the same thing. You can't believe that this must be it. The Dragon's Bane of Kyrus. You guys know that at the time of the dragons, this is centuries ago, the land was plagued with dragons. And there was a great, powerful archmage who created this powerful structure of an item, which is this tower, to be used as a weapon to fend off the dragons. And that's why it's called the Dragon's Bane of Kyrus, Kyrus being this archmage. But it's believed that in the time of the dragons, they would lure red dragons in the region here near this tower, and someone could work the tower to fire a blast of energy at the dragons and help bring them down. And the blast could be very devastating to a dragon because it would make it so they would just drop down, they would lose like resistances, it would pretty much make a dragon hit their greatest strength, not even at play when fighting them. And it was through the Dragon's Bane of Kyrus that really only made it possible to defeat all the red dragons that were plaguing this area of the kingdom. And it made it safe. And, this is like at least 150, 200 years ago. And, no one's really seen dragons since in this area. So that's just the history that you guys know, Rellya and Ronin, about this Dragon's Bane of Kyrus.
Do they explain that to the rest of us?
That is up to them. Do you guys just... So you hear Ronin say, "No way," and he's looking at the tower.
I can't believe what I'm seeing before. My party have no idea the history behind this tower and how long it's to fight off the dragon hordes and prior times. Let us enter to learn more.
Okay, so you want to approach the tower?
Let's approach the tower as a team and try to enter. Speak to Gawain? Is that his name?
Yes.
Sorry, I have his name.
Yeah,
here.
so Gawain's probably going to be
Gawain.
at the inn and tavern.
Okay.
But yeah, this is like a
This is
monument
not-
practically.
This isn't... Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, this is just a tower.
Okay.
This is a tower that
Okay.
has some quite,
Okay.
some pretty awesome history behind it.
Let me revise my statement then. Okay.
Okay.
You would not believe that this tower has stood beyond the time of history, centuries past. It has slayed dragons during the Dragon Age. It is so impressive, I didn't even believe it was real until I was able to behold it before my eyes. However, I believe Gawain is probably staying at another location. How about we try the inn, and we could talk more about this at another time.
Indeed.
Really, it says, I think that would be best.
Yes. Sister,
Okay.
what do you say?
I would agree, and I am also impressed by your knowledge of it.
I'm quite impressed myself. This is the only story I've ever told from Odin from Olanellis. So I'm surprised. Let's just move forward.
Yeah. Okay, so you guys finished going down just a slight slope of a hill where the Dragon's Bane of Kyrus is perched upon. It's not very high. It's only like a 10-foot rise of land. But there's a worn away section of grass, of just wild grass, from carts and just traffic of people. And you follow the road up. And off to the left, that's where you see this very tall building. And you see some people in the town, and they're stopping, and they're just staring, and they're whispering, "Can you believe it? Who are they? I don't know." And you're just hearing all these whisperings from the townspeople, and they're just seemingly curious. But it is late afternoon, remember, and it seems like a lot of these merchants that you're seeing, it looks like the market has ended, and they're actually clearing out the streets, like they're getting ready for the evening. Around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So the market has ended, and you guys come up to the Silver Blade Inn and Tavern, and there's a sign, and engraved in wood, you guys see what looks to be like a scimitar, and it's painted in such a way that it looks like it's completely all silver. And you also see like a crescent moon in the wood as well, and it's just sitting there just right outside the front of this building. And you also see another building back behind this one that clearly is probably a stable. A lot of inn and taverns also have their own stable so that patrons or travelers can, store their horse while they stay as guests at the inn and tavern. But normally you pretty much go and pay and try to procure a room and stuff like that.
I think we should let our horses stay in these taverns, meet with the stable keeper, how much have our
Okay.
horses stay here at this location before we enter.
Okay. So, so you all go inside the tavern to find the innkeeper and make arrangements for the horses. Okay, so you guys walk in, and it
Someone
being
should
just
stay outside with the horses.
yeah. Does someone want to? Who wants to stay outside with the horses?
I think Thinor will stay outside with the horses.
Yeah,
Okay.
just make sure these
Or
shady ass
charisma. Should we
shit.
people without
We're like literally here to save them, and they're whispering these people. You know what? Like, we are obviously like Ruby Legion.
Maybe
Well, most of
maybe
what
they're
you heard
off
people
drugs.
say was like, "Who are they? What are they doing here? You know, are they just travelers? You know, and just
We
people just
come with
guessing
good
like
intention.
but-
We're staying outside with the
yes,
horses.
you okay? Okay,
who you are.
I'll
You
stay
guys are
out-
quite intimidating to behold, so most people were kind of too afraid to engage you guys in conversation. You just heard byproducts of their whisperings to each other. But you enter inside the tavern. Thinor is staying outside with the rest of the horses. The rest of you go inside the tavern, unless stop me now.
Nope, I'm good with
Okay.
that.
So
Oh,
the other four of you, you guys go inside the tavern, and the door creaks as it swings open. It's one of those like saloon type doors where it just kind of back and swings. And you guys walk in, and there you see a couple barmaids in there. And one is sweeping, the other has a rag and is wiping down one of the countertops where the bar area is. And you see a man call out, "Oh, we're not quite ready yet. We're still trying to get things ready." And he then turns and looks, and you see that he is more of a heavier set man. He's a bit older, and he's balding. Definitely looks like he probably enjoys his food a bit more than others. But he takes a look, and he says, "Oh, can it be? Are you from the Ruby Legion?"
Can I ask if there is a bar maiden like behind like the thing, like behind like the counter?
No, they're not behind the counter. One is sweeping a floor, and the other is on the nearest side to you, basically, of the counter, and she's wiping it down.
The clearest guy. The clearest guy. She's like, brother.
Yeah,
please.
the guy comes out from an archway that's behind the counter,
Okay.
and he comes out and he sees you guys.
So we're here. We're trying to stable our horses, and your stables quite off. You're here best to try to preserve the danger and the evil that has befalled your great town.
And he says, "Oh, I thank you all for coming, and for Lord Blackwell to send help so quickly." And he says, "Oh, you must forgive me. Please, have a seat. I am Gowan." And he says, "You have arrived at a good time. You see, we had a mining expedition that normally they'll stay maybe a day, maybe 2 days at most at the mines, but they did not come back several days ago. And so we acquired volunteers of the town to form a search party to go look for them, to find where they might have been. And they did not come back. This is when we really did get spooked, and people are afraid, and they lock up at night. They're afraid that whatever ill fate have befallen these brave men will also come upon the town." And he says, "Please, you must help." But most curiously, last night, one of the original miners named Marcus arrived, and he's very distraught. Whatever happened up in those mines up there, quite horrible indeed. He is definitely... he's just completely shaken up by the experience. And my wife is up there now tending to him, and he points upwards to the next floor, because this is a 2-story floored inn and tavern. So he just points upwards that his wife is tending to Marcus right now.
Is there a way that we might be able to go speak to Marcus?
Says, well, I guess you'd probably have to ask the missus, but Marcus has been through a lot, it seems, so I'm not sure he's in a condition to be asked too many questions, but I suppose this is a dire situation, so if you think it would help, then alas, you go on ahead.
How about we do this? If the rest of the party agrees, why don't we take our rest for the night, stable our horses, and then in the next moment, when he's well, the next day, we'll speak to him and try to worry ourselves about John's troubles in the mountains.
Yes, I would agree. Give him a night's rest.
Sounds like he just come back from a very traumatizing experience. He needs. But I will be questioning the shit out of him later.
Alas, he needs to rest and recover his strength.
I'm chilling outside with the flute, playing music to the
Okay,
horses.
he's playing horses.
Awesome.
Playing
As you
horse
do
music.
that, Thinor, there's a few young maidens who appear on the street, and they're looking your way, and they're pointing, and they seem to be really enjoying it. And you start to play more of an upbeat tune, as you're playing on your flute, and they start clapping, and they seem completely entertained.
Hercules.
Hercules. Yeah. So he says, whatever you guys feel is best, but I'm afraid of what is in those mines. For there's several men that has been lost now at this point, and it's early afternoon.
It's
like 3:00.
So there's plenty of time. We've already had a long rest, right? So
yeah, you guys are all
Okay.
fresh, and it's like midday.
So
still have a good section of the
should
day
I
left.
push to go talk to this guy? And he's okay.
Well, do you want to talk with your party?
I
No,
insist that look. After second thought, I really insist. It's midday. I believe that we could probably gather some information from him before nightfall.
Brother, why don't you go ahead?
I was gonna ask the maidens. I was gonna do a charisma check on the maidens and ask the maidens what troubled the town, if they knew anything about what was going on. 'Cause I don't.
Okay.
So we'll
Man.
say Thinor has his conversation before. So,
Okay, so you stop your flute playing as you finish the tune, and they're just like cheering, and they start walking towards you. And there's two of these women. There were some other women who were there, but they actually start turning away as it seems like the performance is at an end. And they walk towards you, these two young women. They're about similar age. They're about 22. And they're just saying, "Oh, that was amazing. We haven't had a bard in these parts for quite some time." She says, "You definitely brighten our day." And what do you ask? And there's this brunette girl with these really tight curly locks about her, just overflowing her shoulders.
damn.
Dear maid, do you know what troubles your town?
She says, "Oh, a strange evil has fallen upon this place. I can feel it." And she says, "I don't know, but I know one thing. I'm not coming out into the streets anymore at night. No one is, for that matter." She says, "Are you here to save us by chance?"
Yes, we are. We are the Ruby Legion.
And she seems
Ruby red,
completely impressed. And as her eyes go wide, as she recognizes the Ruby Legion, and as her eyes go wide, you then notice that her eyes are a beautiful blue. And she puts a hand on your shoulder, and she says, "Oh, so you are of the Ruby Legion. Help has come at last." She says, "Oh, this is amazing. Hope has finally come to Willowdale." She says, "Tell me, do you have a place to stay for the night?"
Not yet, dear maiden. You quarter me and my friends.
Thor's gonna run off with this fucking blue-eyed, brown-haired maiden. Should have been mine. I should have fucking looked after the horses.
So she says, "Well, maybe we can have some drinks tonight if you're available, and
Yes.
to stay away from the dangers of the night. I'm sure we could find a room for you and lodging at my place, and you can perform for my family. My ma and pa would love to hear your music."
I said I have a great soldier named Ronin.
Sorry, you cut out there. What was it you said?
I said I have a great soldier named Ronin I shall bring with
Yes.
Nice.
me.
Finally.
Later to sneak
A
over.
wing-
All this
Wingman,
cock blocking.
indeed.
God damn, man. Finally.
All right. So while all that is happening, you're discussing with everyone else inside the Silverblade Inn and Tavern with Gowan and with the party. So it's like midday. Like, kind of sleep or do anything would kind of feel like a waste of time, I would imagine. Haste is of the essence here. There's definitely something wrong with the mines up there. People are scared out of their minds. And remember, Lord Blackwell, the words in your mind, Allannia, is that Lord Blackwell saying, remember who you represent as you go to the town of Willowdale. And if you do this well, then you'll basically get a promotion within the guild, full ranking membership.
Sister, I must infer on you. Do we speak to this man who's just come back, barely survived from the mines? He needs to be questioned to figure out what's. I'll leave the lead to you.
Brother, I implore you, please go check on the horses outdoors while Rellya and I go upstairs, because it seems as though this Marcus has been traumatized, and I believe that that we will have a softer presence, whereas you may be a little more.
But it's only okay. But it's midday.
This is where I would kind of like incur
Damn it,
myself.
Ronin, just come outside like you're supposed to.
All right. I'm coming. Man. Once this conversation's over, I'm coming.
Okay, so this guy Marcus has been greatly wounded, and great distraught. Perhaps he needs the will of God, some healing to him.
That's a good
Yes,
idea.
very smart.
Definitely.
Very smart.
That makes a lot of sense for Dalton to think that maybe some healing and stuff would help to soothe his ailment and whatever tragedy that he experienced. He's traumatized, but
Maybe you could waterboard him to give him information. Okay.
Check on the horses.
So now, can I ask? Is this inn? Is it a tavern as well?
yeah, yes, absolutely. Because
Can
there's
I-
tables all around you. There's a bar. There's a spit and a fireplace, and it seems like as if all the rooms are probably upstairs. But it being a very small village, and it looks like this is the only inn and tavern in the because they would probably be on the main market street. The market street was not very big at all, and it's the only inn and tavern.
How much is a pint of ale?
Depends on what. Do you ask?
I would like to ask
Gowan, this?
Gowan how much a pint of ale would be.
Brother, you must tend to the horses, so you need both hands.
I
says,
will
well-
be on my way, but I would like to take a beer and put everybody on the house. I will grab one for Thinor, who is out tending to the horses. I will take one to him. So please, on my behalf, Gowan, how much is a pint of ale for my team?
Says, well, it depends on what kind of ale you would like. We did get a shipment in recently called the Stout, which is a very fine dwarvish ale. At least others seem to like it. I'm not so fond of it myself, a bit too strong.
How much would that cost per pint?
I'm gonna smack
Because of
him
shipping
back
costs, it's one of the more expensive, but it is only for the adventurous, I must say. About 2 silver for a single flask of the ale.
What's the conversion rate from gold to silver?
There's 10 silver to equal 1 gold.
Okay, so I will give you 1 gold piece to give me 5 of this dwarven brew.
And he says, oh, hopefully not just for you.
Of
There's
course
a matter
not,
at
good
hand.
sir. I'm not a drunk. I was buying around for my friends.
Well met, well met. And he says, oh, then. And he takes the gold, and then you see him stop. And he looks, and he says, no, you keep your money. And he hands it back to you.
Oh, yes, back up.
And he
one.
says, this
Okay.
will be on the house tonight. You're of the Ruby Legion. It is the least I can do. He says, in fact, you no doubt have horses outside. We can get those taken care of for you in our stable. And please, are you hungry?
Sir, I insist. If you would give us a round of drinks and also stable our horses, please keep this gold. It's the least I can do for us. Continuing to help you. The least we can do is the accommodations to keep your economy growing. I don't fucking know. It's at least-
Yeah, he says, thank you.
I force him to keep that 1 gold for giving
Okay.
us this free rounds of drinks and stabling our horses.
Okay, so he takes the gold. He's gonna go ahead and take it. And he says, well, if you ever need a place to lodge, if you need it for the night, then I will go ahead and have the missus go ahead and make up some beds and put new linens on. We have just enough rooms for all of you, it seems. How many? Is there any more outside?
There's one outside. I have a double ale. I'm double pinting here. I have one for my friend outside. He's tending to the horses. We only really need, because I'll be staying with Rellya. So 4 rooms is all that's necessary, sir.
He says,
I really hope the storyline goes to like this same room. No,
Yeah, well,
I'm not gonna do that.
we'll see.
Hold on. So I'm gonna take my 2 pints after that conversation. I'm gonna give Dalton the lead, and I'm gonna take my 2 pints, one in my hand, in my left, and one in my right, and I'm gonna go meet Andrew out with the horses and the maidens, and hand him a drink, while I leave Dalton the lead to go talk to whatever the fuck needs to happen there.
Okay. At this time, when you walk out of the tavern, you go through the doors, and you have a mug of ale in each of your hands. You look down and you see Thinor there, just casually, just kind of standing there, and you see this brunette-haired woman with these very curly locks cascading around her shoulders, these blue eyes, and she seems completely enamored with Thinor, and she has kind of an arm up on his shoulder, and she's just like laughing, and he seems to be telling a story or two to her, and you hear her just giggle and laugh.
And I
And-
tell her how I
Yeah.
slayed the booger bear, or what was it?
Bugbear.
Bugbear.
No, please. It's
He's
a
a bit wasted at this
Please.
point.
Take the. No, hold on. He hasn't even gotten the ale yet. Please, brother, take this ale while you talk to this young maiden. While I go talk to her friend. She's
Well,
sitting
her
off to the
friend
left.
is gone at this point. It's just her.
Shit. Okay.
So-
You know what? Take this ale and let me tell her a story of my own about. I actually am the one who slayed the bugger bear. If I must say so myself, I could tell you the tale, young maiden, if you'd like to hear it. And she gazes upon me with her blue eyes, and I'm like,
She seems a bit confused as you say that. She turns to Thinor and she says, "But I thought you slayed the bugbear single-handedly." Nonetheless.
look, this is my embellished young friend. He's an amazing warrior himself. God, he could literally be happy with you plus 10, but however, I am the one who slayed that beast.
But
And
yet
I'm
I
sure-
single-handedly approached and attacked the bugbear
Yes.
first.
His bravery has no match. He is
All right, why don't
quite
both
the
of
man.
you roll a persuasion real quick?
Oh, please.
Okay,
Okay, where's my
please.
persuasion roll? Fucking A, dude.
Fuck
We're
you, bro,
trying to hit
20.
this shit, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, are you fucking kidding me? Okay, alright.
Oh my god.
This bitch. Okay, here we go. Come on now.
Oh,
Roll a 20.
got a +5.
Oh, it's almost a 20. Fuck! Damn. Okay, well, you get the
Oh,
pussy
sorry.
tonight.
Goblin style.
You know what, young maiden?
Oh, she turns and she says, "No, but Thinor is so heroic. He's told me of his deeds. His name is of legend." And she says, "Quit trying to take credit for something that he has done. How could you?" And she says that to you, Ronin.
Look,
And
and
I guess
that's
Thinor,
fine.
you're just
I will
smiling.
allow. I will. Forgive me. I greatly apologize. Please, Thinor, you really are the rightful slayer of this beast that you speak of. I am just here to help you with the horses.
So crunchy.
This is a
But,
fucking
dude, man,
8.
this is the soda.
Oh my
I'm here to
gosh.
fuck one of the horses, apparently. That's all I
Okay, so the rest of you guys lose sight of Ronin as he departs outside. He seems to be gone for a little while, but it's just the three of you, Rellya, Dalton, and Allannia. Now, do you guys want to head up and try to speak with Marcus, or Rellya, do you want to stay and drink your mug of ale? Like, what do you guys want to do? Do you want to
What
wait
can they do?
for
What
Ronin
can
to
they
get
do?
back?
Can they do both?
So,
Can they
DM, I have a
drink?
question about that. Can me and Kyle sneak?
Dang it, you cut out. Andrew, say that again, Andrew.
Wants to sneak off.
I said, can I try to convince Ronin to go sneak off with me to go to the maiden's house?
Oh
Can we do-
god, he's trying to like do a train
I
thing.
progress the.
No, you can't
If
get
not, it's
someone
okay.
to do something they don't want to do, but I mean, you can go ahead and try to roll a persuasion. Then it would be up to Kyle to decide whether he wants to leave it up to the dice to decide or not, and then play his character accordingly.
Don't even do it. No, we're just gonna stay here.
Okay.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I figured we'd have some.
You dirty ass motherfucker.
I mean, yeah.
Can we just go in the mid-afternoon as a
Yeah, you
civil?
can, with dialogue, you can go ahead and try to convince him that it'd be a good idea to do that. You know,
Okay,
maybe,
roll it. I
that
have
was
no
fun.
choice against your persuasion. Go ahead, Andrew.
William, why don't you go out and
Yes.
go check on the boys? Because they're taking quite a while with those horses.
14. Holy shit, dude.
That's,
Are we really
that's
gonna do
19.
this?
That's 19
19
plus
total.
5.
Are we really
So-
gonna do this? Do I get like a counter persuasion?
No, it's up to you. You don't have to go by that roll at all.
Yeah,
if
dude,
you
I
don't
can't
want
make.
to.
All right, I'll
You do
tell you
something.
what. I'm gonna roll a d8, and if it rolls 4, oh wait, 1, 2, 3. If it rolls 5 to 8, we'll go with it. If it rolls less, okay.
What
Fair.
happens if it's less?
If it's less, I convince him to stay, and we're just gonna tend to the horse.
So
Higher
a coin
than-
flip, basically.
Basically, we're gonna leave
Yeah, yeah,
and
I
go
agree.
do
I
whatever
agree.
the hell is gonna happen.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
All right, 1 through 4.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so
What is this?
he convinces me to leave to this chick's house, and me and
I
him
hope there's
go.
evil
And
witches and witches
Look,
there. I hope they're
This
witches.
is
now, hold on. This is her family, so you're gonna be playing some
Yeah.
while I just try to convince and hit on random
Okay.
people. So nothing major.
There is right before you're about to head off with this brunette maiden, there's a stable boy that comes out, and he says, "Oh yes, I'll be taking these horses to the stable for you. Great Gowan told me to go ahead and fetch these horses from you."
Thank God, because we were gonna lose them horses.
Well,
Yeah,
look,
so
what?
so the stable boy
Honest-
starts to take the horses to the stable.
Okay, so then we're off to the maiden's house.
Okay, so you two
Thank you
follow
for
this
saving the
maiden.
horses, DM.
And she says, "Oh, my name is Finra." She says, "So where do you hail from, Ronin?"
I am so sorry. I hail from. There's why don't I have? Okay, I hail from Neradia, but I'm also part of the Ruby Legion.
And she says, "Now you are." So she says, "I can't help but notice, but you carry 2 blades at your side. You know how to wield both of them?"
Indeed, I do. As a matter of, well, am I talking to the same brunette?
Yep. You
As a
guys are
matter of
walking,
fact-
and she's leading you towards her family's farmhouse.
As a matter of fact, yes, I do. These have seen some deadly combat, but also quite sharp to the touch. So I'd appreciate you don't touch my.
And she says, "Oh, I have no idea how to use them. And I will not touch them, I assure you." And so the dialogue continues. She's just asking questions from the both of you, you know, and Thinor, in your usual flamboyant flair, you know, like give these great stories, and it definitely impresses her. You have definitely won her over with your flute performance and with your stories and your heroic deeds of slaying the mighty bugbear just a night prior. The rest of you guys are there in the tavern. The 2 guys don't come back in. The stable boy, you guys saw him go out. He eventually comes back in. Rellya, you stayed there and you were drinking?
Oh, Ronin, you're asking.
Rellya, actually,
She
before
has.
all of this stuff happened, Rellya looks nervously at her mug, her ale. And she knows she shouldn't start quite drinking yet, so she wants to ask, what's that dude's name? Gowan.
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 He wants to ask Gowan a question. And she says, how long since the last farmers went into the mines to search for the missing miners?
2 days ago.
She says, that is most troublesome indeed. And she looks at Rellya and
Oh, miners or the search party?
the search party.
Okay,
Right.
yeah, search party. 2 days ago.
Yeah,
Yep.
Okay.
And she looks at Rellya and Dalton and she says, perhaps this is more pressing than we thought, as it's been a while since they were last here. And he says, who knows if they're starving of thirst or food. He says, we should probably make haste. And Rellya says, but I am no master of the arts of speaking. He says, perhaps someone with more charismatic features should go and talk to the boy instead of me. For I will merely avenge the boy if a need comes to arise. Yeah.
Okay.
And with that, she feels like she got everything off her chest. It's a big old swig of her ale.
Who are you deciding? Dalton, I guess?
Well, Allannia and Dalton, do you two want to just go up together then? The both of you? And
I
speak?
think that would be wise.
Yes, I agree.
Okay. You guys head on up the stairs as Gowan had directed you the direction where to go. So you guys make your way up these stairs and you take the first door on the right, and you see right away that the door is kind of open a crack, and you see some movement, and you see more of a heavier set woman on the other side, and she just says, "Oh, now, calm down, dear. It'll be okay. Hopefully help will be arriving soon." And you then hear a chair creak as you can tell that she sits down. And the doors just open enough that you can see a part of her sitting down on this chair.
Okay, so I will slowly open the door and walk in and make my presence known.
Okay, and
Allannia
she seems a
follows.
bit startled. So you're in the lead then, and you're following back behind Dalton, Allannia. So the door opens, and you see on the far side of the wall in front of you, there's a bed up next to it, and you see this young man with this red hair and like a reddish, kind of like a goatee, and portions of a beard that are trying to grow on the sides here, but most of his facial hair is centered around his chin and his like mustache area, and he has this, and he's just like completely looking all sweaty, and he's in this bed, and he's actually kind of shaking a bit, and she says, oh, you startled me. And this woman with this darker hair, it's pretty short, but it's very curly, almost like kind of like a perm, but it's curly and short, and she looks up and she's just, oh, you startled me. Who are you?
I am Dalton, servants of God, from the Temple of Allannia. I have come to lend aid. We are with the Ruby Legion. Behind me is Allannia,
Hello.
greatest of all wisdom.
And you
Yeah, here's
see
the
her
help.
exclaim in joy, just, oh, at last help has arrived. And she says, you hear that, Marcus? Marcus, help has arrived. There is hope. And Marcus is just sitting there as if he's staring off into the distance. He's not even really acknowledging your presence. He's just staring off, and he's just has his blanket up next to him like this, and he's just staring off. And yeah, he has some matted hair on the side of his head, just like looks like covered with sweat.
Okay, so
Yeah, you
I'll-
walk in.
I'll walk in, I'll approach next to him, I'll take one knee and I'll place my hand upon his shoulder, and I'll tell him, I am Dalton. I have come to help. Please tell
And
me all of
as-
this.
Well, as you approach, as you get like within 10 feet of him, he shudders away. And he says, and his eyes get wide, and he says, "No, get away from me!" He says, "We're all doomed. They're all dead. They're all dead. We're doomed. Just stay away from me. Stay away from me. You'll kill me. Stay away." And he's come, and she, the lady, which you learned her name is Beatrice, by the way. So Beatrice, Gowan's wife, she says, "Oh no, not so hasty. He's very traumatized. You see, maybe you should keep a distance from him." Said he's been through a lot, it seems. And Marcus continues to stammer on as he then looks at you and then starts to fade away as if he's looking at something in the distance. And he says, they all died in front of me. We're doomed. And he's completely like just crazy.
Fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Can you actually? Is he able to actually touch him? point to like calm him
Well,
down?
you were startled. You slow your approach as he freaks out like that as you get close. So, do you want to continue moving towards him, or do you want to back off?
I think
What do you
you
want to
should.
do?
He needs
Well,
healing.
I think he needs
I
one good
have-
slap.
He needs to
I
slap
have-
across the face and say,
I-
"Shut up, dude! I'm here to help."
I have
Now,
the
Is there a
ability
role
to
he
harness
estimates?
this energy and bend it to my will. Am I able to do so in this? Like, kind of change his mood in this?
Not unless you have a spell. Like, what spell are you thinking of?
No, I was just reading my bio and info that that I learned to harness and focus energy and bend it to my will.
Well, that's
Wisdom.
magical spells.
Yeah,
and
so
wisdom,
that's you being
not
a
like-
wizard.
Okay.
focusing on like controlling people's like intuition, like or will.
So you're an evoker. You definitely know that there are some studies of magic where wizards tend to focus more on like enchantments and abilities to alter the moods and emotions and effects of people.
Yeah.
Your
Insight.
focus, though, has been on destructive magic, like
Yeah,
just outright destruction.
you're gonna have to leave this up to Dalton.
Dalton, your experience being in the temple and especially being, I believe you started
Your
as an
insight should be
acolyte.
high.
Right.
Let me double check your background. Yes, you were an acolyte, so you actually had to tend to a lot of common folk people, peasants and the like, doing a lot of the mundane tasks of getting ceremonial dressings ready, tending to common people when they're sick, even tending sometimes to the garden when it needed to be tended. That's just the duties of a novice and an acolyte. But you've seen a lot, and you know that, like with the magic that you're capable of, it's cure wounds, basically to restore wounds and to mend the flesh. But the mind is a completely different matter entirely. You know that there is and there does exist some more powerful magic out there that can restore people's mind, but it is beyond your ability. You know that you have not quite studied enough to really understand how to harness the weave, well, or at least to have the faith that it requires to ask a monitor to grant such a spell to you.
Okay. Hmm.
You need to speak to Patrice.
Okay, so I will turn to Patrice. I will ask Patrice. Patrice, what has happened here? Tell me all that you may know. We are here to help, and whatever
She
you can
says-
lend us will be of great help.
She says, of course. I will tell you everything I know. And she says, Marcus, he's born and raised here. His father, a farmer of potatoes, but he decided to become a miner. He wanted to get off of the family farm and make his own way. Marcus is a good boy. Definitely, we are lucky that he's still alive. But whatever happened, it saddens me to see him traumatized in this way. But he came early last night, stumbling into the town, and he collapsed in the street, and we had to haul him here, where we are trying to tend to him and give him water, and we're hoping that help would come. But hopefully, whatever evil has besought him and whatever he's experienced, perhaps it could be faded with time, or at least with the knowledge that the evils that have taken his friends' lives has been dealt with. She says, I can only imagine the horrors that he saw. She says in fact, that's all he can say, as you just saw yourself.
Indeed,
They all died in front of him, apparently.
Indeed, he is disturbed. Patrice, is there anything you can tell me about our approach to the mine, as we shall investigate?
She says, well, if you continue in a northwestern path from the main market street here, you'll eventually get to the base of the mountainous path that leads up to the mine. You see, the entrance to the mine, it's quite a few hours hike up to the top of the peak, the northwestern peak. And she says, if you were to start soon on the track, you could get there possibly at dusk or before the sun sets.
Yes.
And she says, I don't know what has befallen, but I know that the Ruby Legion, now that you're here, know that things will be well soon. I have faith.
Can I say something real quick? If it's going to take until dusk to get there and it's midday, we should probably rest and get there.
Well,
midday.
it's a 4-hour. It's a 4-hour
We're all full
hike
health.
about. So that's going to put it like at 7 o'clock. So it'll be it probably gets dark at around 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock. It's 3 o'clock right now, so it's like a 4-hour hike up there.
Well, the only reason
Maybe
I'm
a little
saying
bit
is
less.
because we're pushing Pat. We're at 128.
Yeah.
There's
Yep.
a way that our crew could try to find a way to settle down, place to sleep for the next time we gather together.
Yes.
While
and this is exactly
Andrew and I go take care of this blonde-haired, blue-eyed or brunette, blue-eyed fucking maiden.
Well, okay, so yeah, we're going to end here. Next time, you guys will decide, like, if you want to go up the mountainous path, which, the sooner the better, probably. You're probably going to have to try to figure out where Thinor and Ronin went off to.
Idiot.
We'll be back. We'll be back
Yeah.
by dusk. Trust me.
Well, we
I'll
need
be pulling.
before
I'll be
that.
like running
Well,
down
yeah,
the dust
so if you
lane
guys
with my
wanna-
pants half down, like pulling them up as I'm running to the party.
You
Let
guys
me
have
ask you:
2 minutes.
is there any like blacksmiths or item keepers or townsmiths that anybody that might be able to sell us something that might be useful before we head off on this adventure?
Well, as you saw your brief introduction in the main market square, it seemed like there's just a lot of small houses and buildings, and most of it is produce that's sold on the streets. And then there's the tavern. But maybe someone has some equipment they'd be willing to part with.
Okay, hold on. Look, before we leave on our next adventure, I highly suggest we at least look around the town before we leave.
Okay.
That's just my suggestion because look, you playing an RPG, you go into a town.
Because you just cut off. You just cut
Hey
off.
man, hey man.
No,
you
look,
don't know,
what I'm
man.
saying
Maybe
is that you
dad-
go into in any RPG you play, you go into a town, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't ever not talk to everybody and try to figure out what everybody has. 90% of them are NPCs, but every once in a while there might be someone who has something to sell, or something to give, or something key to your adventure. So before we leave and head north across the mountain way to get inside the mines, we should at least investigate the rest of the town, and that's probably what we should do before we leave.
That's fine. I was just saying that we didn't hear you because you cut off like that whole.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I didn't.
I
Okay.
was saying, Kyle, we could.
Well, it
we
looks
could
like you're doing a
see
good
the
job of
career
doing
of,
that
Fair
farmhouse.
Maiden's parents.
Yeah, right.
Well, look,
You guys better ask questions
Yeah.
while you're there at that house.
Yeah.
So we'll call that a wrap then.